yeah, let's go indeed. What's going on? Hey, it's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good considering it's a Sunday morning. I've barely had enough sleep. I tell you what, man, this influencer game, bro, content creator game, it's no joke lah.
Bro, I'm like half dipping my toes in it because of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
But like I know for a fact that this is not the life that I want.
No.
I just want to create a faceless YouTube channel and
Yeah.
make it money from it. But I don't want to be in doing all the hosting and nonsense, bro.
It's not even just about like we don't want our faces on it, right? It's all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's actually really funny. I know this is a super tangent, but have you watched this Korean reality show called The Influencer on Netflix?
No, tell me about it, bro.
Bro, it's kind of crazy because I can like relate, even though I don't have these people's numbers. So it's like a reality game show, right? But basically they scour like Korea's top influencers, like hundreds of them, get them together and then they compete to see who can out-influence each other, right?
Okay. So you do game shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the drama they go through, and you can see the gears in their mind when they get tasked, right? They're like, okay, we want to grab as much attention as possible. And some people will just do outrageous shit. And you think about it, that's exactly the content creation space right now. Influencers are attention grabbers. As long as you can grab attention, good or bad, happy or sad, it doesn't matter. And it's crazy. It's funny because like my life is kind of paralleling that now because of my job. I have to do a lot more content, and they're talking about posting like 3-4 videos a day. I'm like, I'm dying here posting one.
Damn, they have a team, I'm assuming, right?
Some of them have a team, some of them just do it by themselves. Like I said, some of them literally will just do a stupid, ugly face like, do you want to kiss me? And that will get reaction. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just being too artistic. Maybe I should just do rabak shit, bro.
I mean, it depends on the space, right? I mean, like you see people do on TikTok, they can just be as freaking authentic as possible, no effort kind of videos. But like IG, I feel is different. I mean, we know, right? We ourselves know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to wrestling, have you seen the kind of wrestling content that does well? It's like really the most nonsense stuff. Okay, I tell you one guy I randomly followed on Instagram recently. He was at a Royal Rumble. All his content is just taking videos of the girls entering, right? And then like putting like thirst trap songs over it. Like, damn. You know that Kendrick Lamar song?
Yeah.
And it's just like freaking Stephanie Verker taking out her clothes to go into enter the ring. And then that one got millions of views. I'm like,
Life's not fair, huh? Bro, I want to know what his angle was. Maybe it's the angle of where he's sitting.
I'll show you the video where you understand why he did so well.
Actually, talking about social media, it is because of one of my favorite wrestling-related social media pages that I found out that 2 former WWE stars have in fact collaborated in... maybe I'll put it this way. The collaboration that some people might find very juicy, but literally nobody has asked for.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Yasuke. Can you,
Well, hang on. I don't want to reveal the surprise just yet. I've learned a thing or two from watching this Netflix influencer show. Okay, we need to drop a tease, and you got to stick around later because it's to do with 2 former female WWE superstars. Yes, and a paid service they now provide.
I see. Patreon.
No.
Patreon. Okay.
It's 2 letters, bro. 2 letters. One.
Okay.
One vowel, one consonant.
Too much tease already. They might know already.
Oh my gosh. But yes, talking about the wrestling, that's why we're here, right? And we appreciate you joining us here on, maybe you're watching the full version, maybe you're watching the clips on our YouTube page right now. As we spoke of on our debut episode, we're trying a little bit of a different format, and I hope you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, man. Like, thanks so much, guys, for not only just watching our live stream. Right after Royal Rumble, we went live, right? That's our first episode. But if you guys notice our YouTube channel, we've been posting out clips a la cornet style throughout the week, So, for those people who are like, alamak, these people...
Wait, hang on. You talk as if he pioneered their style, bro. A lot of YouTubers do it that way.
Bro, but he popularized it, at least in the wrestling space, right? To be fair.
Okay,
but,
sure.
But the point is, right, if you guys don't want to hear us ramble for 2 hours straight on our weekly episodes, now you got bite size. I mean, the bite size is like 39 minutes, lah.
To be fair though, and this is as a listener of various podcasts, right? I like the nonsense rambling bullshit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people talk about, their lawn being effed up, or when Eric Bischoff talks about, the bus ride he took and it was horrible, blah, blah. I like that sort of connection. And hopefully that's why you enjoy hanging out with us here on this podcast as well.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, as we mentioned last week, we will definitely go to do at least a monthly live stream. I think it makes sense to go right after pay-per-views. I think that's when things are most hype. You guys want to talk, right? Yeah.
Excuse me, they're called PLEs now. Please get it right. Thank you.
Is that you, Nick Khan?
Hey, wait, Nick Khan, excuse me. That's Tony Khan, bro. Nick is the better Khan.
Hey, bro, Tony living on a boat, don't play.
Actually, that's very intense. Oh, here we go. We were like, let's not sidetrack too much. Bro,
5 minutes in.
Remember that song by The Lonely Island and T-Pain, one of my favorite spoof songs back in the day? I'm on a boat, I'm on the boat.
Yeah, for sure.
I picture Tony Khan living life like that. I'm on a boat. I don't care about my wrestlers or my booking. I'm living on a boat.
I don't know, man. I think I think he's quite sweet lah. You know what I mean? Like, whereas, this I forgot this Adam Sandler movie where he's just a kid. Like, he's very childish guy. So it's like, when you're rich as rich as boss kid, right? Like, you can do all this nonsense and all this more what's the word?
Indulgent.
Indulgent.
Spendthrift.
Some people can go more to the lines of very weird, seedy, and fucked up shit like Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
But what Tony Khan chooses to do with his money is like collect his toys. Like, I mean, that's kind of wholesome if you think about it, right? He can do anything with his money, but he chooses to do wrestling.
Yeah, and yachts, and hopefully nothing else. We will, we'll have to wait and see. Usually,
there's no
10
toy
years
figures, no toy figures that he's playing with, lah. Hopefully,
yeah. 10 years time, we'll see though the Dark Side of the Ring episode that exposes all. But okay, that aside, very quickly, let's talk about. Okay, these are accurate as of this Sunday morning where we are recording. Okay, Sunday morning, the 9th of February, by the way. Let's talk about WWE releases. And a couple of names have been released. Okay, looking at this list so far, and I think there might be more to come, but are you even really surprised at any of the people listed here? To be honest.
If nothing else, I'm actually surprised at the timing of it, right? Like, usually WWE releases talent post WrestleMania, correct?
Yes.
But like, I've never actually remembered them, releasing people at the start of the year, like right as the WrestleMania season is just about to start. What do you think about that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they pretty much know who they want to push and who they don't really have plans for. So I guess their mentality is might as well just do it now, right? And some of them, their contract just ran out and they were not renewed.
Okay.
So it's not a straight up release, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, like a couple of them that like make sense. They haven't been doing much on TV, but some of them are really like wasted, man. Like one of them is like, oh, my eye candy, and then she's gone.
Well, hang on. Just because she eye candy only, huh?
No. She was in a good tag. So that's also one of the things that I was curious about. Why only one half of a tag team was released and the other half not? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, as we go through the list, I guess we can sort of discuss that a little bit. Okay, here we go. The first one that kind of kicked things off. He actually went on social media to announce his release. Cedric Alexander, coming off a loss on NXT actually recently.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know what happened to Cedric Alexander after the Hurt Business left. Like, where did he go back to NXT? Was he on 205?
205? What are we in, like 2021? No. There's no 205. He's been on NXT. And he's sort of just been here or there. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys they use sparingly. And unfortunately, I guess they really had nothing to do with him. Honestly, this is probably a good thing for him. Let's try to look at it at a positive, because now, and a lot of people have mentioned it online, his best move is to just go to AEW, make the money, and be with his Hurt Syndicate friends.
Rejoin them in the Hurt Syndicate. It makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I would rather see him in the Hurt Syndicate than Ricochet.
Because that's what they're trying to do, right? Recruit Ricochet in the beginning, and then actually, in the end, they went for Cedric Alexander in WWE. Do you know about this story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now looking at Ricochet and what he's doing in AEW, it makes perfect sense.
Well, Ricochet is doing better in AEW, in my opinion. I mean, the go away hit, somehow he's managed to convert it into like proper hit from what I'm seeing. So
Yeah, sure, Mr. Scissors, the golden scissors for
no,
whatever reason.
he wears specs now, bro. Now more evil, bro.
Bro don't even have hair. I don't know why Caesars. And that's another topic for another day. But like, you know how wrestlers have an assigned weapon is their weapon? Like at some point it gets like, I feel like we should put the blame on Triple H for this. When the second he had his own trademark weapon, suddenly everybody got a trademark weapon.
Yeah, everybody gotta get their shit in, you know what I mean?
Oh, and talking about social media, we'll get to that in a bit. So okay,
Yeah,
there you go. That's Cedric and Alexander. Let's get back to him.
I want to say something about Cedric Alexander's release as well. The first person that I saw posting about it, right, wasn't Cedric Alexander. I did see his Instagram post after that.
Okay.
But the first person that posted about Cedric Alexander was, of all people, Mustafa Ali.
Because they're probably buddies from before.
If you guys remember, like the biggest feud in 205 Live was Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. Remember when they were trying to push the cruiserweight division on Raw?
Yeah.
And they had this amazing match that ended up being on the pre-show on WrestleMania 34. So like, I feel like, yeah, it makes sense for him to go back to the Indies. He has a lot of his friends, a lot of his rivals, previous enemies there as well. So it's a good landing spot because I really feel, again, it's just a case of there's nothing for you here in WWE right now.
Correct. And yes, he's ultra talented. Like we talked about, either AEW makes sense. TNA, go restart your feud with Mustafa Ali.
TNA has been doing so well, bro.
Yes,
so
yes.
well. So I'm happy for them that they get this opportunity.
So the options is go and get all your extra money and do nonsense at AEW or go TNA and work. I think it's fine. He's going to be fine. Let's talk about Akam and Reza of the AOP.
Ooh.
And not just the two of them, their manager, Paul Ellering. Okay, we know Paul Ellering. He is a legendary manager. Was the Legion of Doom, right? He was the guy.
Yes, LOD. Yeah, for sure.
It's not my era, to be honest, right? And I don't mind bringing in legends to sort of be managers and prop up new guys. But can we be real honest here? They've done absolutely nothing, even on their return, even in their first run. AOP, they've just sort of been there.
I'm curious, right? Paul Ellering clearly doesn't need the gig, right? They called him back to help manage AOP.
Yeah.
But like he's been fired and hired twice, right?
Yeah.
And then we have people like Jake Roberts who's been there forever and like, just vibes over there. So like I'm curious,
because that's AEW. AEW, Tony Khan just pay out the wahoo and forget that he even has a toy. So WWE a bit different. Like they have probably people to answer to, say, why you have this fella on the payroll? He's doing nothing, you know?
No, that's the thing, right? Like when Final Testament first started up, right? We thought like, wow, we're gonna be a super group, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and then AOP. Like that felt like it could be at least a mid-card, faction, could have won tag team titles. But for some reason, somewhere along the line, right? This is maybe a thing where Triple H maybe had plans and then like either changed his mind, soured on them, or like just was focusing on other people and then forgot about them.
So this is dirt sheet stuff. Don't take my word for it. But apparently Akam and Reza had heat backstage because of some business dealings. And the reason they got put with Karrion Kross was because Karrion Kross has very good relationship with the locker room. Everyone loves Karrion Kross. So they put them with him. Hopefully some of that bad heat from AOP will be dispersed, right? And AOP heavily requested that Paul Ellering come with them. They are a package. That's probably why creative has nothing for Paul, because he's that excess baggage that was demanded, quote unquote. And if you want to demand somebody to work with you, like, I don't know, it's probably a combination of everything. They soured on them, they have nothing for them. And if you don't like somebody, you're less likely to try to push them or make a story for them. You know what I mean?
And to me, like, AOP leaving, but it's still having like Karrion Kross on the roster doing like, really like improving recently, especially having more screen time.
I love him as the devil over somebody's shoulder. Like he's that guy now. Anytime somebody is teasing a heel, suddenly Karrion, hello.
Does it remind you of a certain gimmick that never took off in the early 2000s?
Early 2000s. Waylon Mercy?
No, very close. 2003.
Is it Sean O'Hare or Mark Jindrak?
Sean O'Hare. You got it.
I remember, I can see his face, like the spiky hair. Yeah.
he had that a bit the man bun vibe going
Yeah.
on.
Eh?
He was shit steering. Remember he was partnered up with Rowdy Piper
Yeah,
2003.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so his gimmick was like, okay, I'm just gonna speak in your ear. I'm like the devil's whisperer, right? Like I'm gonna stir shit for everyone. And I love that Karen Cross kind of picked out on me because he does have a lot of similarities with that guy.
Yes.
And also like he works as his promo skills is actually the thing that keeps him on top. Like that to me is more interesting than his matches. So
True.
let him be the devil whisperer on Raw. It works so well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's Akam Reza AOP, as well as Paul Ellering. Gone. Now, the next one, it almost feels like she never even got a chance. Was she even on the main roster after they called her up? Remember, it was a big deal that she got called up to the main roster, right, from NXT. And then Blair Davenport just had 1 or 2 matches and then poof, disappeared.
I feel so bad because Blair was literally at the Royal Rumble over the weekend. Didn't do anything. The only thing I saw from her was the behind the scenes Royal Rumble video on YouTube where she was like taking photos with like the rest of the women. So clearly she was a team player, but again, nothing that she didn't do much for WWE in terms of like the main roster at all. Like NXT UK was her
Ceiling.
peak. Yeah.
Maybe she was just kind of bleh. Oh,
Wasn't she Bia Priestley in AEW? I still remember this.
Bro just no-sold my pun. Okay, cool.
No,
That's
I'm
how
so
we're going to
sorry.
play it. All right.
Yeah,
Bea Priestley? Yes, she was. She's probably going to go back to AEW then.
But she used to date somebody and then
Who?
she broke up.
Who?
Darby Allin.
Oh.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
I thought that one was
Wasn't he?
Gigi Dolin.
Oh shit! Sorry.
No, that's Gigi Dolin.
Oh no. No, the other guy. Will Ospreay. I think they used to date.
Okay. Well, I mean, Ospreay, isn't he married now or he has a relationship, he has a kid?
Yeah, first.
Yeah, can be professional one. Like, if Matt Hardy and Adam Copeland can do the job, the business, then hey,
You know
anybody
what?
else can.
If Nikki Bella can return the same day that John Cena is in the Royal Rumble, do you realize no interactions at all, no behind the scenes they come across each other?
Bro, professional. Okay, then again, yeah. On one side we have professionals. On the other side is just. Anyway, let's not go there. What was the safe word for this season? Oh no.
Oh no, yes.
All
oh
right,
no.
here we go.
Shout out to Najwan. Oh no.
Okay, this next one to me, I guess, is the most like, oh, they could have done so much with her. And this is a case of contract not renewed, not like release. Her contract just ran up and they were like, okay, we're not going to renew, right? And like, I guess in a way, there have been a lot of stop-start pushes with the Pure Fusion Collective, which like to this very day still sounds horrible coming out of my mouth. Pure Fusion Collective.
Which one is the worst dead on arrival name? PFC or the Viking Experience, bro?
No, this one was. Like Viking Experience, at least okay lah, like it tells me what I need to know about them.
I don't know what PFC means. Like, they never tell the story of why
Exactly.
Fusion.
It's just three angry lesbians. I don't know. It's Zoe Stark.
PMS?
Yeah, no, it's there's what their orientation is shouldn't factor into it. But yeah, what does Pure Fusion Collective even mean?
I don't know. I have no idea. And the thing is, to me, when I heard the name, it was Dead on Arrival. They tried to shorten it and call it PFC, sure. But what was interesting wasn't that. The interesting thing was Sonya Deville becoming the manager for both of them and like kind of being this female shield. Right? That was what they were trying to do, right?
And you know what? We remember Sonya Deville as the Raw GM for, was it Raw or SmackDown? SmackDown GM for quite a long time, and she was good as the unlikable heel manager, right?
Yeah. She had great chemistry with Adam Pearce as well. Remember that?
And I always thought she had a great look. Even though her in-ring was kind of right, I guess she's one of those that tries to mix MMA into... I've said this before, I'll say it again lah. Only 1 or 2 people can pull off the MMA gimmick well. Anyone else who tries to do it, it just doesn't work.
Underrated feud, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Remember?
Oh, wait, hang on. Mandy. And what's even crazier, this will not be the first time we mentioned Mandy. We'll get to that in just a bit. Oh boy, here we go.
Okay.
Sonya Deville, contract not renew. What does this mean? For her, I mean, she can definitely find her way like TNA and all the other companies out there. But what does this mean for Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark? And we are recording this on a Sunday. I'm sure there are more cuts to come. By the time we put this clip out on YouTube, I wouldn't be very surprised, even though I do not wish people ill will. I wouldn't be surprised if Shayna and Zoe also kena.
Ooh, I mean, honestly, they were in the Royal Rumble, right? But like,
Nope.
didn't do much, right?
They didn't. There was clearly no plan to have them have a shine.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't even win the women's tag team title. In the time that they were a team. So
Shayna like had her moment. Remember that year where everyone wanted her to win the Rumble?
2020. Yeah.
Yeah. She had that like spark, and I think Shayna they can do it if they really get behind her. I hate saying this, but Zoe, for me, the ship has sailed. She's been called up main roster, and every time they've had her in a big moment, she slipped off that top rope. Stop doing that top rope springboard thing.
Yeah, it's not just that, right? Like when she had that, I think she was backing up or fighting against Becky Lynch, right?
No, remember when she feuded Trish? She was Trish's
Yeah, she was because she was
bodyguard.
Sidekick, and then she fought a lot of Becky Lynch, and then everyone was shitting on her finisher because it's like so hard to pull off the Z360, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like maybe her ceiling should be like a smaller company, perhaps.
Yeah, and even in the NXT, I didn't think she was like, like she was mid-card in NXT to me.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think some people have the WWE look and style. Like, it's nothing against her, right? Like, if she could come across as a badass and like have great promos, she needs to be the overall package of the character. If she's just like a work rate person, then might as well be with Marina Shafir, right? Like,
but not even. What the? Okay. Anyway. Oh no. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she was next. I don't know what they could do with her. Send her to Evolve. Not even NXT. Evolve. NXT is already like stacked. If you look at the roster.
You know what? Ring of Honor. I think they need more competitors other than just Athena. So I don't know. Just
that's a whole other ballgame. We shall not go there. Okay. Anything else you want to add about Sonya Deville?
No, actually, I really liked her. It's a shame. But I think she will bounce back. I think honestly, Sonya Deville can go to TNA right now and like wrestle Masha Slamovich for the TNA Women's Championship. She has that in her. Can I also mention very briefly somebody who was released 90 days earlier?
Okay.
I saw her interview on Busted Open. Indy Hartwell, our favorite girl.
Yes.
And I love the fact right now, right? She's calling. You know what's her nickname?
What?
Indie Wrestling.
I mean, she did that in NXT one, because Johnny Wrestling.
Yes. So I think it makes sense. She should be the queen of the indies, right? Based on her name alone. So
sure.
I do hope all these people bounce back really, really well.
Okay, let's move on then to the next one. Again, another one we thought had a lot of potential, and interestingly enough, her partner was not released. They gave them a run with the women's tag titles for a bit, and they were just flat. Like every time they came out, there's no buzz around.
Do you remember the name? Some unnatural talent or
unnatural? No, it was some like mystic sounding thing. But okay,
Unholy Union.
Unholy Union. The Unholy Onion. More like, look, the supernatural gimmicks just have not worked. So they need to tread very carefully. If anybody gets pitched a supernatural gimmick, they need to be like, actually, can we do something else? Okay, we're talking about Isla Dawn.
Yeah.
I remember, the only thing I remember about Isla Dawn right now is how you enjoyed the thickness.
It's not just that, bro. It's her redhead, bro. It's a ginger, bro.
I mean, I always thought she was decent in the ring. She was good in the ring, and together
she
with
was.
Alba Fire, I thought they made a cool tag team. I feel like there was an idea. They tried it for a bit. They got gun shy, and then they just give up.
So here's my thing, right? Why Isla over Alba Fire? Like, I mean, I'm just curious, right?
For now.
Okay, for now, sure. But like again, right? Like I didn't think either one of them like was so bad over the other.
Yeah.
I think both of them were of equal standing, and they actually catered to a very like they came from NXT UK, right? So they have that British presence, and I'm thinking to myself like, which other female British wrestler is there on the WWE roster right now doing well? There's no representation there.
I mean, you got Irish. Woo!
I guess Becky Lynch. Fine. Okay. Oh, your new girl, right?
Lyra Valkyria.
I saw her video with Sheamus, the Brave Change Challenge.
Yeah.
She's a beast, man. So respect. So maybe fine Irish, but like we got Scottish, but then now all the England representation. Come on.
But hang on. Let's dial back on that. It's not about like if they were an over group, then yeah, sure, right? You shouldn't have people there just for the sake of filling up numbers. If that were the case, where are my Chinese wrestlers? Where are my Indian wrestlers? You know, like it's not about that. It's about, okay, can you sell tickets in that company, in that environment, on that platform? And I think Isla Dawn just doesn't make that cut. And I'm afraid that Alba Fire will fall to that same problem as well.
Yeah. All I'm saying is like I will fire 3 other girls over Isla Dawn, right? I just feel Isla Dawn is not the worst of the pack. Like,
No.
and I feel like she had a lot of potential as well. Like
Yeah.
she definitely. Hey, Chelsea Green needs competitors as well in the mid-card division, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, talking about the foreign presence, as it were, right? Let's talk about another foreigner that had a decent run as part of a group, but now that group is sort of like, okay, the main guy's off doing main event stuff, the other one's prancing around the ring. He doesn't care because he's having it good with his girlfriend backstage. But you know who I'm talking about now?
No.
Alamak, one fella is Gunther, the other fella is Kaiser. The third fella, unfortunately, did not make the cut. He also gonna release Giovanni Vinci. Okay, he must have pissed somebody off. Like, the way that, you know, he came in, they did the Imperium thing, right? And then he got unceremoniously booted out of the Imperium. Like, he didn't even get like a redemption revenge arc, you know? They like, Kaiser murdered him, and then he went to SmackDown. And he shows up on SmackDown, instant loss after loss after loss. So he must have pissed somebody off. I don't know what they were trying to do.
Yeah. You know what it is? From what I understand about Imperium, right? It was Ludwig and Gunther that grew up together. They were the ones that are friends.
Right.
Vinci is like the Travis Barker, you know, like he from Blink-182. Like, just, okay, I met this guy along the way in the Indies, okay, another European guy can come.
But that's fine. Like, it doesn't matter if you grew up or not, right? Together.
No, but I think my second point I was trying to say was that the ceiling for Ludwig and Gunther is clear for everyone to see. Like, everyone can tell like they would do well. But maybe they look at Vinci, they're like, actually, Vinci is dragging the rest down.
Yeah. That's why we split them up. And then, they brought him over to SmackDown. Remember, they had the vignettes for the European Excellence, even though we remember him losing left, right, and center. And the European Excellence gimmick was from NXT. So they literally, I don't know if it's a case of, all right, you give us an idea, and he has no ideas. And he just came out with the same old shit. And they're like, okay, this guy maybe is not it.
And then when he debuted on SmackDown, or re-debuted, didn't he like lose in like 10 seconds or something?
Correct. They squashed him, and then he just kept losing whenever he would once in a while show up. So like there has been no clear direction for this guy. Like, it's clear that either somebody doesn't like him or they had an idea. Maybe like, remember what's his face? Kurt Hawkins had like a losing streak type gimmick. And those usually go nowhere.
I think it's generally a case where like if you need to trim the fat on the roster, he's definitely one of it lah. Like there's nothing much, you know.
Okay, last two, they are a tag team. They've been around. They have a very strong association with the main eventer, right? And they are like two guys you can use anywhere. And I'm sure they'll go back to the Japan scene. Maybe they'll go to AEW. Talking about the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Nerd!
Talk about people who have been hired and fired more than 3 times.
Yeah.
They should have stayed in AEW, right? Weren't they like part of the group with Kenny Omega, remember?
Oh yeah. Were they? They were there for like a cup of tea. I don't even remember.
No, they were actually part of TNA, but during that TNA and AEW crossover, they came a lot. So I think they are those guys that are made for the indies. Like they are well settled. And I just felt like when they were in WWE, they couldn't show their personality, or their personality didn't really come out as much. So
what is their personality? If you were to describe to me the Good Brothers, what is their personality?
They're just a bunch of like bullying jocks lah. Like, and they do it really, really well.
Oh, sure, I guess.
Yeah, and they can't keep coasting on like their friendship with AJ Styles. You know, like AJ Styles doesn't have that much of a sway to like, okay, I need to keep all my friends in this company.
Well, actually, to be honest, I totally see them going to TNA, doing some stuff. And then once in a while, they just show back up on the WWE because TNA and WWE have that connection now.
Yeah. You know what I really want them to do? I want them to actually do a run back in Japan. I think that's when they were the most popular. And Carl Anderson was taken seriously as a singles wrestler then.
But bro, to be honest, the Japan scene also not happening now. In a lot of ways, AEW has wrecked the Japan scene. New Japan,
for
to be
sure,
exact.
For sure. That's why I'm campaigning for more wrestlers to go back to Japan to rejuvenate the scene.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
give them some
exactly,
interest,
right?
you know. Like fucking
But
let Omar stay there for 1 year lah.
okay, so there you go. Those are the releases. Like I said, we have recorded this on a Sunday morning. There might be more to come. We don't know.
Yep.
If any other big names pop up, we'll do an addendum. We'll jump on TikTok, something like that. We'll post a video about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely post it out or clip it out. So, unfortunate, very unfortunate. Again, like to me, the timing was a bit iffy right
Yep.
before WrestleMania. So, but again, maybe they just want to focus on what they have. Focus on their team. You know what it reminds me of, bro?
What?
The football January transfer window, bro.
Oh.
It's like the mid-season transfer. Like you want to push people out. Like okay lah, focus on the remaining people going for the titles that they want.
Well, more than ever, the WWE seems like they have a very long-term plan, and these folks clearly didn't fit in that plan. So what happened lah. Okay, once again, everybody, thank you for joining us here on the podcast. We especially appreciate it if you're watching the long one. That's where you'll get all our random interactions inside.
Yeah.
Random
interactions.
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to our Patreon members as well. Like people, we didn't manage to shout it out. And if you guys are on the chat right now, watching us on the live stream, really appreciate your support. We have new members join recently. So again, stay tuned to the end of the episode. We're gonna give some perks for our Patreon members. So watch out for that.
In the meantime, though, okay, let's get down to business as it relates to the post-Rumble fallout, right? Okay, so I love right now that they're putting the entire machine behind one certain Jey Uso. He kicked off Raw, he kicked off SmackDown. And you know what is crazy? Despite the internet going, no, Jey Uso, and I used to be one of those guys. You remember, I was always like, Jey, I don't... This shows you, right? If anything, this shows you that the IWC is a much smaller community than we think it is. Look at the people yeeting away at these arenas. And not just on Raw, on SmackDown, so much so that they had to do the yeet thing twice. Do you remember they ran it back?
Yeah, both times.
Oh,
yes.
Triple H is like, yes, Jey, help us kill time. We have a 3-hour SmackDown. Just do the yeet thing twice, 3 times if you want.
Yeah, oh my God. Is Jey winning you over, bro?
As a person, as a character, okay, he's winning me over in that the story is winning me over more than the wrestler. Does that make sense?
Yep. That's a fair assessment.
And we talked about it, right, previously, and now it's even clearer than ever. The Yes movement, the Kofi Mania movement, this is happening all over again. Whatever they decide to call this Yeet Mania, Yeet movement, we are going to get an underdog guy who nobody thinks will win. And the fans are going to push him and carry him all the way to WrestleMania. So, this is my prediction. He's going to get his ass kicked. He's going to have shit thrown at him. Gunther is going to brutalize him on the road to WrestleMania. They are going to give us every impression that he cannot do it. But he will do it. You know, this is that story and I love it. I'm here for it.
It's the ultimate underdog story that you're trying to tell. It's so crazy, right? Like this time last week, right? Right after the Rumble, we were like, Jey Uso of all people.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna see him against Gunther? Do we want to see that? And you know what? You know what's the thing that won me over? To be honest, like he has won me over. To be really fair, it was that first promo on Raw. Do you remember that first promo on Raw when he came back and he talked? And not only was he emotional, his voice cracked up.
Yeah.
When he said thank you, he had tears in his eyes.
He was very raw.
Yeah, he was very raw and real. How can you hate a guy after that? Like, you know, like then that's when I do realize, like, hey, this guy has been. You talk about Joe Hendry being an overnight, 15-year overnight sensation, right? Yeah. Jey Uso has been grinding since 2010, right? Tag team wrestler for the majority of his career. You know, the bloodline storyline really elevated him to the point that he broke out. He became a star on his own. He really tried to live up to that moniker of main event Jey Uso. I think the IC title. So actually, right, if you're an old school guy, you will really appreciate his wrestling journey, right? Tag team, mid-card, and then now world title contention. Isn't that like the most classic example of a Royal Rumble win?
It is. It absolutely is. For him, okay, so for him, it's all about that story. And they are probably going to tell that story in a way, right? He's still not the guy I want to see wrestle a 30-minute classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But some people don't have to be right. Like
No, no.
I don't remember a 30-minute classic from DDP. You know,
Oh, right. Or
right?
like even like Ultimate Warrior, for example. Those
Yeah.
people are the very definition of the machine is behind you, let's go.
Yeah. Like if you say okay, if you put Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as like the work rate guys, right?
Yeah.
But then like you still need one time Kevin Nash, you still need one
Yeah.
time, like X Pac, 1 2 3 Kid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Jey Uso is, but
No.
I feel like Jey Uso wrestles a very WWE style, right? Where
Yeah.
it's a lot of showmanship, presentation, and that works out well for him. But
Mm.
the thing that is going to carry him over the line as a main eventer is really going to be the promos. I think his
Yep.
promos and the emotion, the realness he brings to the
Yep.
scene, people are going to love him, and especially the Netflix crowd, bro.
Oh yeah. We've always said this though, like the Usos, when they have something to promo against, they are very good. It's just that when they are given, okay, you got 6 minutes, go out there and entertain the crowd. That's when they start meandering, talking rubbish.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know, like I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, but like, did you see the promo Jimmy Carr on SmackDown? I thought it was hilarious. I was like, Big Brother Jim, he's funny.
I wanted to say that,
Yeah.
but we'll save that for our SmackDown conversation. But like one for Jey Uso specifically, right? Like people are gonna say like, oh, he just has a catchphrase, the thing that's gonna that's the thing that made him famous. And while I don't disagree, like
Yep.
the catchphrase did help him go to another level.
Yep.
The layers, like especially if you're a long time fan watching throughout the 2010s, you can see the progression. And I
Yes.
think, and he only caught fire with Jeet maybe in the last 2 years.
Correct. Okay,
Yeah.
let me just put and then the bloodline. The bloodline
bloodline.
story, let's not forget, really elevated him as well. His interactions with the OTC, with Sami Zayn, with that whole thing, right? That took him to another level to where, all right, let's pay attention to him. Let's take him more seriously. And then he had the Yeet thing. So it's like a culmination of so many things put together.
Agreed.
In a lot of ways, a very organic growth, right? Now, that said, and I don't want to be the wet blanket, but I do see a Kofi Mania, a Daniel Bryan Yes Movement path for him in that he will win at WrestleMania, and then post WrestleMania he'll have the shine, he'll have a couple of months, maybe even a year plus, but after that, it's just. But he's already a made man by then, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Honestly, I think I'll put him on the same level as Jey Uso. Like Jey Uso. As,
You should put him on the same level as
he
himself.
is, because he is, right? No, what I meant, Sami Zayn.
Kofi.
Sorry.
Oh,
No,
I would put him on the same level as Kofi Kingston. Kofi Mania.
Yeah. I think the Sami Zayn comparison is because Sami Zayn had that moment, like that what do you
But
call
Sami
it?
Zayn never had the WrestleMania moment. He had a moment.
Yeah, he never get the full on like WrestleMania, like you said, like Kofi Kingston did. But what I'm saying is like even past that moment, that lightning in the bottom moment, Elimination Chamber 2023, right? Sammy has remained perpetually over since.
Yes.
And I feel like Jey Uso, I think after this whole road to WrestleMania period, he will remain perpetually over.
Yep.
My question is, at what point will the Yeet get tiresome?
Yeah. We will have to wait and see. Like I said, slightly
Now it's okay.
past. Yeah, now it's okay. And it will be fine all the way up to WrestleMania. I don't see it lasting more than like half a year after WrestleMania. To be honest, I think it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, this shit again. Oh, but I will say this, that WWE fans are going to have like strong shoulders, from all the...
really work out. I tried eating with him for like 5 minutes while watching SmackDown. It helps. I tell you, good training. Thanks, guys. Next wrestler that gets popular, right? Their chant needs to be a squats.
Then all the wrestling fans freaking got big ass calves and thighs. Gunther, okay, so Gunther, more and more, even though yes, Jey went to SmackDown, had an interaction with Cody, come on, it is so obvious it's gonna be Gunther, right? Gunther is like, yeah, don't pick me. I need a better opponent for my legacy. I love that promo. It's just so to the point, blunt, and like you don't even matter. And I want to see Jey beat Gunther.
Bro, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Same energy, bro. Same energy. I love it. Okay, another thing actually I want to give props to Gunther, because actually Gunther, to be honest, since the Netflix debut on Raw, he doesn't feel like the center of attention, like he's been almost pushed to aside because they needed all the mainstream guys. But then, right, if you don't forget, like Raw is his show, like he is the world champion, and I hope this means like, okay, right now they're gonna put the spotlight back on Gunther. Gunther's gonna be a monster on the road to WrestleMania, rampaging everyone and making Jey Uso his bitch like for
Yep.
the next 3 months. Right?
Yeah,
That's what I hope.
that definitely has to be the focus lah for us to really give a shit about this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah, for sure. Like
Anything else you want to add?
I think more of like now that we know more or less the world title picture is sewn up, the intrigue can be from what's going to happen in the SmackDown side of things, right?
Well, in the Elimination Chamber, which we will talk about in just a bit, right? So yeah, that is pretty much going to be the storyline arc leading up to the next couple of weeks. Now, very quickly, we had Penta versus Kaiser, and then Penta, I guess we know his first feud will be Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne came out and disturbed him.
Yeah, which is cool.
No,
I don't mind that.
It's going to be great matches. You know, I thought they had a much better match than Penta versus Chad. Even though I think Chad carried him more, I think he's just working out the nerves a bit. You know, he's in a new place, different style, so that's kind of fine, right? Let's talk about Charlotte Flair getting booed out of Cleveland. Okay.
Okay. Like,
This is okay, so it's a very interesting situation, right? And this is the other story arc for the women's side. Who is Charlotte gonna pick? Is she gonna pick Rhea, Tiffy, or Julia? No, she's not gonna pick Julia. But yeah, so Charlotte, is it Rhea or Tiffy?
You know what? It was a story of two sides, right?
Yep.
We saw her confronting both Rhea and Tiffany Stratton. After watching both, man, my money is on Tiffy. Like, okay. Let me give you a very clear context, right? Like, I heard somebody on social media say that she is the inverse Jey Uso, and I laugh my ass off because I get it. You know why?
Why? Explain.
Okay, Jey Uso has everything: connection with the audience, promos, down pat likability, blah blah blah. But he's in ring like, right?
Oh, right.
Charlotte Flair is world class in the ring, right?
Yeah.
But everything else about her,
no, I think she's a great promo, but she's a great heel promo.
In the sense that like the connection that she wants to get with the audience
is not
like
there.
You can't manufacture the Jey Uso connection that Charlotte is trying to get, right?
Charlotte is a star. She should always be a star. We should never try to be like, oh, Charlotte is one of us. No, she's not. She's better than you. And that makes her a very good heel.
That's why she's miscasted. Even though she wanted to come back and have that emotional, I just returned, my injury, poor me, I fought my way back.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I lost my dream for a year, like this heartfelt thing, and boo, we don't like you, boo. Like, huh? I was legit like, what is going on with this crowd?
Do you think she actually had one direction for that promo, but because of the reaction, she had to pivot a bit?
I think she's smart enough. She's veteran enough to do that. Yes.
Because by the time SmackDown rolled in, right, I think she fully embraced being a heel already.
Yeah, she's like, screw it. Okay, they're gonna boo me. I'm gonna be the heel now. Yeah. Okay, hear me out. Is it the crowds are actually fans of Andrade?
Hey!
No.
Bro, no. It's not even about that, bro.
Yeah,
No, actually, honestly, like, and that's funny, right? If she's gonna wrestle Tiffy, right, wouldn't she see Andrade all the time on SmackDown?
Oh yeah, that's true. It's fine. They are professionals.
Okay, but I do want to speak very quickly on that SmackDown promo. I actually didn't like it at all.
Okay, why? Was it interrupted too much?
No, not just that. I mean, that's one small thing I can gloss over. I felt that she was very disrespectful to Tiffany Stratton, but not in a heel building up kind of way. It's like a AEW burying her kind of way. Like, fucking kneel down and beg me. Like, what was that all about? And then somebody was saying like, oh, Rhea Ripley is a kid, you're a child. Then the comment section was like, isn't a kid and a child the same thing? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. No, see, you're a baby, so it's like even younger. Like, I mean, okay, I get where they were going with it, and I actually agree with you. Like that promo didn't build Tiffy. Like if you watch The Best Do It, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, all of them, right? Even as a heel, they will powder the babyface a little bit first before cutting them down to sell the match. If you just straight up, oh, you're a bitch, you got back knee, you got small balls, blah blah blah, like okay, so whatever lah, But basically, an AEW promo. Yeah. Okay, I know I don't want to sidetrack, but an MJF promo. He's been using those styles of promo way too much already. Yeah. In that he just cuts the opponent down to a point where I don't even care about the match. Yeah, this guy is a loser. Why would I want to see him fight?
Yeah, if you delegitimize your potential opponent, why would people pay money to see it? And another angle I didn't like that Charlotte was doing is that she made the champions beg for her to pick them.
Yeah.
Insinuating that she is a bigger deal than the championship title itself.
And maybe that's why the audience feels that. And they
Yeah.
are booing her. They're like, you think you are such a big shit, you know?
Yeah, like it's like, yeah, if I'm Undertaker, right? Like, fighting me is an honor, better than a championship. But he didn't have to say that. The
Yes.
fans bestowed that title to
Yes,
him.
people, the commentators maybe mentioned, the fans on the internet said the general sentiment is there, but he didn't verbalize it. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. But if Charlotte Flair was saying like, I'm here for the title, that is the biggest thing, and I deserve it better than you. You might be the champion, but it's because I wasn't here. So now I want the title back. Thanks for
Yeah.
carrying it. At least there is some, focus
Yeah.
on the title.
Okay lah, so maybe this sets up Tiffy and Charlotte. Charlotte heel. Tiffy finally can go face because Tiffy has been getting cheers even though she's a heel. Even though she does heelish things.
So is this a heel versus heel kind of situation? We're not sure, right?
So it's like a tweener versus a bigger heel.
Maybe
at this point,
and it's murkier because that's why I like SmackDown, because they throw in the potential spanner with Nia Jax, wanting to call her shot for the rematch.
Yes. And we'll get to that when we talk about SmackDown real quick. But let's wrap up Raw, okay? So we got New Day versus LWO. Logan Paul cost Ray the match that sets up their Elimination Chamber qualifier. So that's going to be fun.
A new song, which I completely forgot about it already, but a heel New Day song.
Okay, for all the Death Rebel slander out there, don't forget, they came out with the OTC song. At least got one redeeming song. Okay? At least got one or two redeeming
Hoobastank came out with the reason, bro. And I have not heard of Hoobastank since, Like, once in a while, you can have a one-hit wonder. Okay, to be honest, Jey Uso's song is technically Death Rebel.
Okay.
So is it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fine.
Day one-ish, yeah. So anyway, Liv Morgan beat Io Sky via DQ because Rhea Ripley came out and, she tried to like get in Liv's face, but she caused the DQ. So maybe Io's going to turn. There we have some interesting developments in the women's side of things.
But that's the thing, right? I actually wanted Io in the Elimination Chamber. So if you have Liv go over her and Io is like, jilted, how do you continue building that story? Or is she just going to be a heel but doesn't have any effect on the title picture?
Maybe she takes a break. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a shame, right? Because Io was my girl to win the Royal Rumble. I thought she would at least have that second chance, but I mean, okay, Liv is the biggest star at this point, so maybe.
Let's talk about Seth, CM Punk, Sami Zayn. So okay, Seth is still sort of this like he's pretty much a face, but when it comes to CM Punk, then he's like the antagonist. He starts losing it. He starts getting delulu.
He is this year's Professional Hater Award, right? Last year we gave it to Drew McIntyre, we gave it to AJ Styles. But I think Seth is that guy.
So you talk about the main event, right? CM Punk, Sami Zayn. Isn't this like a dream match for a lot of people? Like, have they ever done this match? I don't think so,
No, their first ever time together because they miss each other on the indie scenes, right? Again, Kevin Owens and CM Punk have never had a big match as well.
Yeah. There are actually a lot of quote-unquote dream matches that the WWE have yet to present with CM Punk. And I love this match. This is a really good match.
Yeah, I wish they actually made a bigger deal of them being first time. I think they mentioned it, but like, I wish Sami Zayn and CM Punk had a promo to start off the show before they actually had the match. That would have been so good, right?
Honestly, I thought it was fine because there was, first of all, there was stakes, a spot in the EC, right? And and maybe it's the product right now. Everybody was cheering everything in this match. It's like usually two baby faces, wow, like who do cheer? No, everyone wanted both of them to win.
Yeah, I agreed. And I don't know, man. Like, okay, because Sami Zayn was the victim of an attack at the end of the Raw, right?
Yeah.
With the pile driver and all that.
So okay, they tried to like make it look as if Sami Zayn was going to attack CM Punk. I don't know if you saw that like weird thing, right? Where they shake hands, CM Punk goes over, CM Punk turns around, so his back is to Sami Zayn. And I think the long-time wrestling viewer in me was like, oh, is he going to attack? Are they trying to tease something? And then Kevin Owens attacks Sami Zayn from behind. Yeah. So I choose to believe, it might be copium, I choose to believe that they are purposely doing these things to get us to feel like, oh, is something going to happen? But then they swerve us with something else.
Agreed.
Bravo, storytellers.
I like, the Sami Zayn still trying to tread that story of like, should you be more selfish going forward, And then the very sudden attack from Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I groaned, to be honest.
Okay. I had the same thought. because the idea, the potential Sammy versus KO match, it's like, how many times do we have to see this?
Yeah.
Right? But do you think it's because we've watched their journey from NXT? And if we take out the NXT past, a lot of people maybe have not watched that. Maybe we can say, okay, this still has legs.
So being, trying to be as objective as possible, right? Like I was kind of looking back at their previous matches. Like they had a banger in 2016 Battleground.
Yeah.
And they were still young in the careers. Like they were only one in the roster. So okay, they had a lot. They are basically mid-carders trying to prove themselves, their indie reputation to the masses, right? And then they had their second WrestleMania match, which was WrestleMania 37, 2021. And that was like, that was just like a fluff WrestleMania, right? It was the COVID pandemic just coming out of it. And at that point in time, do you remember Sami Zayn was looking like Chef Guerrero, like with that whole stupid Cuban looking
theorist
gimmick.
guy.
Yeah. So it wasn't like the fully optimized,
Yeah.
And then fully optimized Sami Zayn. And then Kevin Owens was like, just like a shit talking guy. But we don't have the connection that we have for both of them, right?
Yeah.
Why I grew was because we had the entire storyline that culminated in them being tag team partners and winning the tag team titles together. I thought that was great. And even then, they had betrayal leading up to that. Remember War Games when KO and was on opposite side of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was in the bloodline. So like they have told so many stories. So I know people are gonna say like, oh, they're gonna destined to fight forever.
Yeah.
But what else can they tell in their story this time around that can last all the way to WrestleMania?
Well, so this time around, and if you watch on SmackDown, KO justified his actions live from his car. Once again, he did a car promo thing. That's his thing now, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole friendship thing. Why didn't you come and help me? You just stood idly by while Cody Rhodes brutalized me. Still sick-looking spot that the Alabama slam onto the ladder, right?
Yeah.
And then in the Rumble, like he's freaking trying to save Roman Reigns, like our friend, like you're a crap friend, and I hate you, blah blah blah. So that's that whole story, lor.
Yeah. So like he's saying like you still choose to defend Roman Reigns and protect him over me, right? I get that story. What I'm just saying is like now clearly it's just gonna be like a one-on-one feud, right? Maybe that's what they wanted. They just wanted that WrestleMania showcase.
I mean, okay, to be fair with the WWE right now, they do a very good job of sort of taking you on detours. So at some point, Cody will get involved and they'll have a triple threat or a tag team, or you know what I mean? So we will get multiple iterations before the actual main event.
Yep. Not gonna lie, actually I kind of low-key wanted the Sami Zayn descent into evilness storyline more. I would have rather like Kevin Owens managed to get him into the dark side, So that would have been my way of putting it. But we shall see.
I think it undoes like many years of character development if that happens. I think Sammy is in a very good spot right now. He's very likable.
Yeah.
And and like he's that upper mid card, almost main eventer guy that anytime can be a main eventer, but also at the same time he can suffer 10,000 losses. People will still love him, and that's a very powerful asset to have.
Yeah, agreed. It's not like Dolph Ziggler where everyone expects him to lose, right?
Yeah.
It's like if he loses, it doesn't take anything away from his character, how over he is. So
yes.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, so that just was like, okay, that's not the ending I wanted, personally.
Right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Let them cook, as the kids say. Let's talk about SmackDown real quick. We mentioned earlier, Jey kicked it off again. Now Jey is interacting with Cody. They're gonna start a match right off the bat. Like this is great. Setup for shows, right? You have the starting segment that teases the main event.
Yes.
And the main event was going to be Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, versus Jey and Cody. So they did that whole thing, the setup lah. Because to be honest, at the end of the day, this match, it's a juicy main event, but it to me doesn't have ramifications for the future in terms of storyline. It was just a main event for to have a cool main event.
Isn't to you lah personally, do you think that the bloodline is on its last legs, like the storyline?
Yes, it's then again, the end of SmackDown indicates that there might be a little bit more, but absolutely, it is the sunset of the bloodline storyline as it is.
Yeah. I just feel like it's not that the bloodline should end, but I just feel like everyone is such a big star coming out of it already.
Yeah.
They can have their own separate storyline, and the bloodline can be the Avengers movie.
Correct.
But like right now, can we go back to like the new Phase 5 or Phase 6 and everyone's like having separate stories? We don't really need to
Yeah.
exist there.
Let everybody do their own little thing, and then maybe even 2-3 years later, then they come back Bloodline one time, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So there you go. We had Bianca Belair beating Piper Niven, no surprise for the EC qualification. They are trying. Oh my god, they are trying so hard to get that tag team division over. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Look, I don't think the promo was bad. It just doesn't seem big time. When you talk about how Johnny especially, have a ceiling, like they do great in a smaller crowd, like that's exactly what I felt when I watched Johnny cut a promo. I was like, there's nothing wrong with this promo, but it doesn't feel like a superstar. You know what I mean?
NXT Johnny and Ciampa just felt like that was their level. Like that,
Yeah.
it's perfect for them.
But let me just say this. I think Ciampa has more. I think Ciampa can cross that line and make it into that big, main event scene. They just need to really, at some point, get away from Johnny. Like Johnny feels like an anchor. I hate to say it, but Johnny feels like an anchor on Ciampa.
I tell you, if they were releases, right, and they released Johnny over Ciampa, like that would have made sense. Like I wouldn't be like, oh man, you should release both of them.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Johnny Gargano. I know he's a lifelong fan, and his passion for the business is so great. I just feel like if he wants to progress further in his career, it's like if I play for Liverpool, right, and I have my potential and all that, but I know I will never replace like Salah, right, like the top forward in the world right now. Maybe I need to drop down to like a mid-division team so I can be the number one guy there, right?
Yeah. And do great work there, There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to like it, and I'm trying to see that, yes, they are putting in the effort. They are, not DIY, Pretty Deadly. They came out. They seem very serious, actually. They weren't doing too much of the flamboyant stuff. I don't know if this means they're going to turn face. I think it could work. Yes, boy! It seems like something a crowd would chant. It can be a very infectious chant. Yes, boy! Right?
Honestly, I low-key, because we can watch SmackDown like fully the 2 hours on Netflix, right? Actually, Pretty Deadly segments are one of the more entertaining segments for me. Like I look forward to what they have to say. They do have charisma, both of them. And like, they remind me of Fashion Police. Shout out to Fandango, who came back at NXT.
Who returned to NXT.
Yeah, like those are the kind of like gimmicks. Like they're a bit unserious, but then like you want them to succeed. So I think it's good.
Well, maybe look, they even did like a whole bunch of promos backstage of all the other tag teams. There was a Street Profits promo which was fire. By the way, did you see it? Them in suit now? They are like very mostly. I don't want to say Hurt Business 3.0 lah, but got that vibe lah,
Yeah. Maybe they took some clothing tips from Bobby Lashley when they were together.
Yeah, in MVP, right? So I'm actually like quite interested in this tag team division now. You got Pretty Deadly, DIY, Motor City Machine Gun, Street Profits. It's definitely more interesting than the Raw tag team division. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, Raw is just like Judgment Day, Viking Raiders, and that's it, right? No, but that's the thing, right?
Excuse me, War Raiders.
Okay,
War. Raw is war, bro.
Why I feel like it's still very mid-card is like you have all these great tag teams, right? But there is no star tag team.
Yeah.
There is no like, I mean, the Bloodline, I guess, was a tag team, but I don't consider them like tag team.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, low-key, I think Street Profits can be that star tag team.
Yes, I agree. They have the charisma, they have the vibe, and then along the way, when they do eventually win the title, then you can build up a young babyface team to take away those titles because they are such hated heels, right?
Yeah. I have a prediction that either in WrestleMania is either the Pretty Deadly will get super over enough to win the titles and become the champions then, or Street Profits is going to take over. So that's my either or prediction for SmackDown's tag team division.
So basically what we're saying is DIY seem like transitional champions lah.
Yeah, they should transition back to NXT lah, in my opinion.
Which, okay, that's the thing. Like, I hate saying that because I love them in NXT. On the main roster, we will never have that Gargano Ciampa feud, and because if they do it, it would be like, who gives a shit? you know what I mean, right? Like, but when they did it in NXT, there was so much history. We are connected to them because it's a much smaller vibe. So
it's like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens like, you know.
Mm.
It's the same vibes, but it's just not on that level right
Yeah,
now.
lah. There's levels to this game. All right, let's move on to another level, main event level. Actually, this is the one we want to talk about, right? Because Drew McIntyre comes out, he's smiling, talking about how he's on SmackDown, it's a new start, blah, blah, blah. A little bit disingenuous, still getting boos. I loved it. And then Jimmy, bro. Let's talk about Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, Big Jim. Big
And
Jim.
I can say yeet, I can say no yeet, and like the crowd was there for it.
Yeah. Can we also talk about the fact like Drew McIntyre is now officially on SmackDown? I actually saw I think on social media, Nick Aldis announced it, and I was thinking to myself like, hey, you know what? Drew McIntyre going to SmackDown opens up a lot of possibilities for the main event scene there.
Well, you know why, right?
Well,
because of the potential feud he might have with Damian Priest, who just got transferred to SmackDown as well. The match that we are like, do we really want to see this again? Because they just had the whole thing.
I mean, actually, after SmackDown, I want to see another feud instead, bro.
Okay.
Bro.
McIntyre LA Knight?
Yeah,
okay.
Holy shit. You know what? Maybe that tantrum that he threw, right? Actually can be the seed for something even better. Like
Bro,
this feud between them.
It's a work.
No,
like we should know him. We should know them well enough. It happened after Survivor Series.
Rumble.
Wait, no. When CM Punk came back, Survivor Series.
Yes, when Seth Rollins did the nonsense as well, right?
Yeah, but there was also the report of him being very angry backstage in the locker room. And then now he was very angry backstage in the locker room because somebody had to guess. They are working the dirt sheets. It's so obvious.
Bro, conspiracy theory, right? Like, yeah, maybe he was a bit upset, but then maybe he was like, you know what? Let's just leak this to the dirt sheets.
Yeah,
and so they can make it a thing, right? But I like how that not only did they reference it in the story, like in the promos, like that added a layer to people who have followed the dirt sheet, the internet marks, right? But for those who have no idea what the hell is going on, they just saw it as a really great promo. Yeah, so
and that is one of the key differences between the professionals in WWE and AEW. Oh no.
All no. Let's go.
Let's safe word. Let's not tangent here. The match was fine. The LA Knights promo was hilarious, Comes out, does the whole like, don't be afraid to cry, call a friend, blah blah blah. And then I just had to get my stuff. I loved it, like, because we are on the quote unquote pulse of this type of stuff, right? Like I really feel like they're working the cheats here, and I'm here for it.
Elena is so good, bro. He's so good in his promos, and I know some people in our Discord channel will say like, "Oh man, I wish his in-ring was matching up to his promos," because the way he set it up was interesting. He talked about mental health, right? Which is it's almost like a PSA that he felt strongly about. But then he flipped it around and make it a setup for that Drew McIntyre joke. I was like, wow, okay, I fell for it. Good for you.
It's interesting to see the three of them, actually. The three of them represent very different, interesting promo styles. This is like, Drew is more like it's a bit like a Delulu Rye humor, right?
Yeah.
Then you got Jimmy, who's a little bit more like
swag.
haha,
Street
swag, in your face type humor. And then you have LA Knight, who is like classic, typical, like, the Rock style of humor.
Redneck, Rock and Stone Cold. Do you see something that's very interesting about WWE right now?
What?
If you dial the clock back like maybe 10 years, 15 years, right? If it was a triple threat mid-card match, right? You have probably had like a Kalisto, a Ryback, or like somebody where got no personality. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is very reminiscent of the Attitude Era, where you would randomly get Triple H versus Rock versus Stone Cold. Like, huh?
But everyone's character is so strong, so relatable, has connected and resonated with every audience. Like, there's no bad gimmick, right? There's no one that has like a terrible gimmick that no one wants to entertain.
Well, then again, we're going to talk about Carmelo Hayes next.
Okay, next. No, he's finding himself. Let's be fair to that kid. But the three of them, right? Yeah. It's like you can put a one-time Kane and Kurt Angle and like freaking Triple H, right? On one segment. It might be damn random, but their characters are so strong that you know what? I actually want to see them fight.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's why the business is so hot right now, because everybody is over.
Yeah, and the flowers that we should send Jimmy Uso his way, right? Like everyone say like, oh, he's gonna be left behind because Roman Reigns is him and Jey Uso has become a main eventer. But don't sleep on Jimmy Uso because I realize a lot of people has started to realize it as well. Actually, he's always been the funny, entertaining one in the group.
Yes.
I think he will have a big run, singles run this year. Like he could even win the IC championship, the Intercontinental, the US championship as well. He has the ability to stand out on himself. I don't think it's a fact that he's not as good as his cousins or brother.
Yep.
It's more of like he has to wait for his opportunity, let them do the main event run. Then after that, then he become the main eventer.
As long as they don't do brother versus brother again and they have a match and it stinks. Anyway.
Yeah, they can't do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Carmelo Hayes versus Akira Tozawa. To be honest, the setup was like, whatever lah, you know. I guess it makes sense because he beat Tozawa and he killed him on the entranceway. Apparently, one shot only, Tozawa cannot fight anymore, right? The match wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I think it was more done to give Carmelo Hayes a win. Like, he needs one.
He needed it because he's been like, obliterated so many times.
But the Akira Tozawa R-Truth Jey Uso interaction backstage. You know what? Yes, I'm here for that random bullshit.
Bro, did the audio team like mic'd up a splat sound right on cue?
It was perfect. Like, I don't know who comes up with this shit, but it was hilarious.
Bro,
like, you know,
splat was like
dropping poor Akira. And to your point, even in the Attitude Era, even Kai and Tai had a gimmick, had a personality. Like, everybody had a vibe. And, Akira, yes, he's a lower card guy, but it's like, he played his role perfectly here as the guy who would get splattered on the floor.
I want to know who queued up the splat sound effect because it was so loud.
No lah, he hit his hand purposely. When he dropped down, he piaked the floor lah.
No, but it's so unseriously loud. It was just like pa.
Maybe you see one guy with a mic pointing at the floor. So okay, we gotta catch the splat. We gotta catch the splat. Using the boom mic on top. But this time, I want to hear the splat sound.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
And then R-Truth calling Jey the King because they just showed the King, Jerry the King Lawler in the crowd, right? Yes. So you're the King of the Ring. And can we appreciate that R-Truth was respectful enough that he didn't call him Jimmy? I think it's a very subtle, because most people would have like, oh yeah, R-Truth always mixes people up, right? That's his whole gimmick, right? But here, he respected Jey as a main eventer enough, or they scripted it as such, so that he actually just referenced him as Jey Uso and not Jimmy Uso. And they made the joke about the King of the Ring instead of Royal Rumble, instead of like, oh, you two look alike.
Yeah, I agree. Smart. It's almost as if like, they're trying to separate them. And another subtle thing, not a lot of people picked it up on it. Do you realize the entire night there wasn't any interaction between Jimmy and Jey?
They're trying to separate them to make sure that, people don't get This is how you treat your main event stars. Like, some people is like, oh, it's favoritism. No, they are the main event. They should get preferential treatment. They should be presented in a unique, better way.
Correct. It's Undertaker and Kane, right? Like after a while, they have very distinct personality. And even when Drew McIntyre like make that joke about confusing Jimmy and Jey, it wasn't like but it wasn't like a bad like the way Jimmy reacted wasn't like, oh, okay. No,
he made it to Jimmy, not to Jey.
Yeah, because Jimmy is now the one that would have all these insecurities.
Correct.
Quote, unquote, right?
Yes. Yeah. Jey is the main event guy already. He is the respected main event guy, and we should present him as such.
Agreed. Great booking all around on SmackDown. Like, again, the matches is like I can watch and like skip through, but the segments, bro, is the thing that keeping me in,
bro. This is cinema, bro. This is cinema, and then I'm sure some people are like, oh, you're not real wrestling fans. I'm like, it's entertainment, is what it is. They've said it before, and I've said it before as well. It's no longer about WWE versus AEW. It's about WWE versus the NBA, about them versus NFL versus the Avengers, Marvel movies,
bro, versus
Netflix.
anything on Netflix, bro. That's what we're competing against.
Exactly, right? So I loved it. It was a highly entertaining show.
You know what made me so proud as a wrestling fan over the week?
What?
Number 1 most watched show on Netflix in Singapore was Royal Rumble, bro.
Let's go.
I think it lasted for 2-3 days only lah. But the fact is,
it's still
Royal Rumble, bro. There's people in Singapore who are apparently not fans or listeners of the podcast yet because there's not enough of you guys. are watching Netflix right now, and I think we saw it on Discord. I think Average, right, said it as well. Like he has friends,
Yep.
people who are not watching, who are finally checking out wrestling because it's so accessible.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, then we had the KO promo. We talked about that already. The Charlotte promo. So ultimately, when they did all that, it's to set up the next match also, right? Because Nia Jax comes out with Candice LeRae. It is so, I feel very mean for saying it, but what is it with this couple? Like the both of them are so horribly uninteresting. Like Candice LeRae, like, you know, she has the cool colored hair, but somehow she's about as interesting as
That was the
a
coolest thing
rock.
about her.
Yeah. You know, as somebody said very mean, like, it's like, hey, Alexa Bliss fighting an ugly version of herself.
What the fuck? Who said that?
I saw it on social. Okay, no, that's
You
terrible.
guys are
That's
so
terrible.
okay. That's mean. That's me. She's not that. Come on.
No, but
I never.
yeah.
There's her being bland has nothing to do with her looks. Okay.
No, it does not. But she is bland. As a wrestler, as a character, like she's Nia Jax's
You
bitch, I guess. I don't know, Nia Jax's friend.
Can I make a comparison which actually is very unfair because I don't think she's as good as talented as her. But I felt like she's like Molly Holly. Like when I say Molly Holly, meaning
In ring work.
Good in the ring, a great hand, great role model. Everything about her, is nice. But because she was in the charisma showcase that was the Attitude Era, she just felt bland. She just like
that's a very good point, actually. They did mention that Nia Jax has a match with Tiffany for her title next week, but why?
No, to be honest, if you recall, right, when she beat Nia Jax, I mean, she stole the victory because of the cashing in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
She didn't do a rematch. There wasn't a rematch.
But the rematch clause hasn't been a thing for a while.
I mean, if you want to enforce it, you should. But the point, that's why I never understood why Nia Jax shifted attention to Rhea Ripley for Saturday night's main event. Because clearly the business that she's supposed to focus on was Tiffany Stratton. Yep. So now, to me, this is course correcting. Okay, finally they're gonna close this loop, right? Yeah. You want to talk about the Alexa Bliss match?
There's nothing to talk about. The match was bland as. So I think it has to do with Candice LeRae being a charisma black hole. Okay. I also feel like Alexa Bliss, I hope I'm wrong. You know, I'm a fan of Alexa Bliss, right? She comes out a huge pop, but I think she's also fallen into that category of wrestler where it's like, she will always get a pop. When they return, they will always get a pop. But they never have a proper storyline for them. They never have a proper direction or it fizzles out. AJ Styles is a great example of this. Every time he goes away for a while, he comes back, but then he'll have like one or two feuds, one or two programs, and then just like, okay, like, nothing that captivates. And I feel like Alexa Bliss might be in that boat.
Well, the good thing is they both came back with their theme song that people actually remember and liked.
Yes.
Both of them.
Sure.
But did you notice, just a split second, there was a bit of a Wyatt 6 overlay.
So if this were like a few years ago, I would be very intrigued. But as we've seen, the Wyatt 6 has been a flop. An absolute unadulterated flop.
They have not done anything, right? Like
after murdering everybody on that one episode of Raw,
which was amazing, by the way. That was an amazing debut.
So I was thinking to myself, like, is it a case of, okay, they realize that this gimmick, they cannot overdo it. They can only do it once every like few months, right?
Yeah.
And is that the approach that they are doing? Which is great for the performers, by the way. They're like, okay, we don't need to do anything at work.
Hey, 3 months off, let's go.
Yeah, wow, shock only, I'm sure they're wrestling like dark matches and house shows and that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, I don't know.
Okay, that's the thing, right? Do you feel like Triple H was doing it more of like I don't want to be saying it, but like a pity run, like courtesy run.
I know where you're going with it, and that thought did come across my mind, yes.
Okay, but to be fair, the reason why I was intrigued is because everyone and their mother said like, if Alexa Bliss comes back and she kind of does a Finn kind of tribute, then it would make sense for her to go into Wyatt 6, right?
Yeah.
Why I think it could be really, really interesting because another thing else about Alexa Bliss that I really like is always her promo skills, right? And I feel as great as I forgot his name. Bo Dallas. My God, that's how forgettable he has been since. As good as Bo Dallas is, and he does a good job as
Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. I just feel like the mouthpiece that could actually make the team or the group better is actually Alexa Bliss, right?
Then wouldn't
Uh,
they be the Wyatt 7?
no, now they are Wyatt 6 officially because they only got 5 members. What?
Yeah, lah, but Bray Wyatt was the sixth member, what? His spirit was always the
Yeah,
member, what?
that's
But
that's
okay, so let's say she joins the Wyatt 6, right?
yeah.
It doesn't change the fact that the Wyatt 6 as a gimmick is very hard to do in terms of making it A, believable in 2025, and B, like, it's either they have to go over everybody all the time, because, you know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
second they get into a match and they lose, the whole mystique goes away.
Then they need to make it to a point where their mistake is not reliant on winning or losing or becoming unbeatable.
Then what is their mystique? They had it previously when the and the the clues came out and stuff like that, but they can't do that forever. And they can only massacre the backstage once or twice per run, right?
Yeah.
They can't do that anymore. So what can they do?
I mean, okay, let's look at the most successful example of a supernatural gimmick, right? Kane and The Undertaker, correct?
Yeah.
Kane and Undertaker, at the beginning, they were unbeatable, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was their thing. They
Yeah.
never get pinned. But then, after they suffered losses and all that, they had to develop something beyond that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
well, yes, along the way, Undertaker became a biker. He came back, he had
Yeah.
that. Kane went for therapy, teamed up with Daniel
Yeah.
Bryan, took
Yeah.
off his mask, became commissioner or GM.
So that's what I mean, right? Like, they need to have the Wyatts develop their personality to the point that they are so
But-
over that doesn't matter whether they win or lose.
But bro, that ship has passed, has sailed already. We've seen Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas on Raw get beat up by The Miz. And then there was no real payback, Like Undertaker and Kane, they run roughshod over the roster for a long time. Like, it feels like to me Wyatt 6 had a moment, then after
They never
that,
captured it.
they never captured it back. It's gone. And
Yeah.
to me, there's no vibe from them anymore.
That's why it's curious why Triple H pulled them back. Like, remember, they had a great debut, but instead of having their debut match on SummerSlam, which they should have done,
Yep.
they had that blow-off match with like Alpha Academy like 2 weeks later on a Raw.
Correct. And then remember we were talking about, maybe Wyatt 6 versus Judgment Day next, because Judgment Day has all the betrayal. And it works, right? Because you got upper mid-card faction versus like a up-and-coming faction. It would have created very intriguing storylines. But they just
never
disappeared.
They never pulled the trigger. They should have.
Yeah.
They really should have pulled the
And then
trigger.
they got transferred to SmackDown and nothing, we've seen or heard nothing. I mean, there was the glitch lah, but whatever lah. Like,
So that's why I hope Alexa Bliss's, appearance on SmackDown signals a way that, they can kind of bring him back. But this is, of course, me being hopeful, right? Like best case scenario, that's what happens. And they become over again. But
I don't know. I get the sneaky suspicion. I get the vibe that they don't really have anything for Wyatt 6. And Alexa Bliss is going to be like, I say lah, an AJ Styles, a Dolph Ziggler. She's going to be perpetually over. She's going to get the pops, but we are going to see no character development for her. Unfortunately, you know how much of a fan I am. She didn't even cut a promo, She's returned from the Rumble. She was in this Elimination Chamber qualifying match. We don't know her motivations, what she's gunning for, obviously the title. But, there's no, she hasn't had a chance to express herself.
Yeah, I mean, and that is a very fair point. I'm also waiting for that first promo back, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is she gonna say? What is she? I really want her to have that 2 or 5 minute screen time.
Yeah. What's her motivation? Is she doing it for the Fiend? Is she doing it for herself? She's back with the doll and everything, right?
Yeah. So again, so that's all the intrigue comes from there, because we all know Alexa Bliss can cut a great promo. She's really good in her character work. So in that context, what can she say to make us care about her? And I believe that she can.
Say,
just have to
run.
wait and see.
Are they going to set up Nikki Cross versus Alexa Bliss again?
You know what? As a tag team, and they're both supernatural tag team, I think they're gonna. If they don't win the women's tag team title, I don't know what to say already.
We'll wait and see. Okay. The main event was Cody and Jey versus Tama and Fatu. I mean, yeah, it made sense for Tama to take the loss, right? They just wanted to, it's an understandable booking win for the faces. To me, the main event was just a cool attraction, but it was all done to set up the big return of Solo. I love you so. Okay, interestingly, right? Now that Jacob suddenly has a voice and he's cutting raps and dropping bars every week, right? Where do you see Solo and Fatu? As in, what is their relationship now?
Again,
So
I have
there's
no
the
idea.
intrigue for us for
Yeah.
SmackDown. There's the storyline that will fuel us for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, because it's clear like Solo is no longer the tribal chief. So that was his gimmick, right, for the last
Yep.
6 months, right?
Yep.
And now that the bloodline storyline again, they have been reclaimed. They haven't officially called themselves any new name, but I know they
Nope.
do not want to be referred as the bloodline anymore. Um, is there anyone that you will root for between Solo and Fatu? Because people gravitate towards Jacob Fatu more,
Oh yes.
but Fatu is essentially the biggest badass heel right now. Does that turn Solo babyface?
Okay. So, what
I
I,
don't know.
what I
I
would
don't
like
know.
to see is
Yeah.
that they continue to they become a unit, but they don't call themselves the Bloodline. Like maybe they can call themselves Street Kings, since Solo is from the street. He's a street champion or some bullshit like that. That was his old gimmick, remember? Solo
Okay.
and Jacob obviously from the streets as well, so they can do this whole like we're street gang type thing, but then you can still run that story of Jacob becoming bigger than Solo, and then Solo not liking it, not having it. So it's kind of like what happened with Roman, how Roman didn't like certain people getting bigger than him.
Yeah. I'm just curious, where does Solo sit in the whole
Well,
main event scene, right?
well
Going towards
obviously
WrestleMania.
they're setting up something with Solo and Cody again because he attacks Cody specifically.
Yeah, but even if that's the case, that can be probably like a Elimination Chamber main event, but I don't think it will go all the way to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
But looking beyond that, like what can Solo do in WrestleMania to still retain his aura, or like his main event status?
maybe this is where he puts Jacob Fatu over. So we get Solo versus Jacob. So yes, they come back, they are a team now, but then he gets jealous of Jacob and his rising stardom. And then you have the story there. Lor.
So you're saying that you're ready for Jacob to, overtake Solo and
Bro,
become the main
I think
person.
everybody has been ready for that for a very long time, and that could be the fuel for Solo.
Okay.
Like,
To be fair,
yeah.
that can work, because you see, the Judgment Day kick out Edge within like 2 months. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I think if they were to kick out Solo now, okay, I think it's fine. It's been a year. Just that I just do not know how Solo can stand without the identity of a tribal chief, without
Wow.
being the leader of a faction.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have like maybe him being the foil for Jacob Fatu is enough to sustain that feud.
Yeah. But one thing I must say is that recently, Solo has been getting quite funnier,
Yeah.
on social media. Like, I got tickets. Like
We
that
still remember that. Yeah.
that version of Solo and him being unserious it's like Big Jim, right? It's like
Yeah.
Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
So he might be low-key a funny guy. But is that enough for him to be a likable babyface? I don't know.
I don't see him as a babyface. I think he needs to stay heel. Jacob Fatu can go babyface.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Raw and SmackDown. So this is what has been set up so far, and the next couple of weeks will all be about the road to WrestleMania, i.e., Elimination Chamber being the big pit stop there. The current contenders are, for the men, John Cena, Punk, Drew. Those three are in already. There's 3 more. So we are gonna see Ray versus Logan. It's gonna be Logan, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Ray is gonna be in the EC? No, right?
No, I mean,
It's Logan Paul, bro. Come on.
Logan Paul is the name that needs to be in the main event scene. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
okay. Seth versus Finn. As much as we want Finn to finally get some push, some recognition.
No, bro, that new song just killed him. He's just a nobody with that. Oh,
I mean, and for the fact that Seth in there with Punk and Drew makes sense, right?
Yeah. Sam needs to be in there.
And Logan Paul for the
virality
name,
of the moment.
The last one is interesting because I know a certain someone in our Discord, shout out to Div Royalty, is rooting for Damian Priest, but it's Priest versus Fatu versus Strongman.
That was announced on SmackDown, and I was like,
what? Okay, so this is a lot of meat.
Wild.
First of all, I feel like Priest needs to re-establish himself because we all know what a talent he is.
Yeah.
But like he hasn't been relevant in that main event scene for the past couple of months, and I see where this can go. In that Priest can win because Fatu somehow gets screwed. Strowman, we know, is not going to win lah. Let's be real.
He's Big Show, bro. He's just there.
Yeah, he's just there. He's an attraction once in a while, but he's not. They don't have plans like that. Okay, so is it Priest or Fatu? Like, as much as I want Fatu to be there, and it's his time, I think they're gonna give it to Priest.
And you know how Priest
How?
gets into it?
Oh, Solo screws Fatu.
That was
There's
what I
your
had
third.
in mind.
But why would Solo come back, thumb Cody, and then thumb Fatu also? Like, that doesn't make sense.
So I'm just thinking how it's an interesting web, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you go into this maze, how everyone's gonna like unweave themselves and
Yeah.
we have clearer storylines. But Solo and Fatu has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Fatu going into the Elimination Chamber, as great as he is, right? He is not gonna win the title or
No.
the championship victory at this point. Too early for him.
Yes.
So why waste that spot on the Rumble?
Yeah.
And why not just put Priest inside it? I think Priest needs that world title contention rub.
Mm.
Fatu can still be a menacing badass, but now telling the stories with Solo. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
just
could be a thing where Solo is just jealous. He's like, oh, I've been away and you know,
you want to know
you've gotten all
something.
my shine.
You want to know something crazy?
What?
Imagine the triple threat match. Fatu was about to win. Fatu has done all the spike. He's done all the crazy stuff, going for the pin, and then Solo appears at ringside. And he says, "No."
Huh?
He says, "No, like don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't pin. I don't want you to win." You know,
Right.
and then like Fatu feels like damn conflicted because last time he will always listen to Solo ma.
Correct, right.
But now he's like now he's a bigger deal. So that maybe he does it, but reluctantly he's like, okay, fine, I step away. I don't pin. And then
Right.
maybe that 1 minute distraction allows like Priest to come in and do whatever and then he wins. So I don't know. Then that could tell a very interesting story of Solo versus Fatu. I don't know.
Yeah. But if that were the case, so if we had Cena, Punk, Drew, Logan Paul, Priest, and Seth, you essentially have 5 former world champions and 1 mid-card champion.
Logan Paul, yeah.
Damn, that's stacked though. How stacked is that? Just thinking about it.
Okay. Early predictions. Who would you want to win that?
I've said this before, I'll say it again. Cena will come very close. He'll be maybe the second last or the third last to get eliminated, right? But it's not going to be Cena.
Okay. And then who will it be?
Wow. Versus Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be versus. It's not going to be Logan Paul. I still go Punk, bro. CM Punk. Punk versus Cody. I want to see Homelander Cody so bad.
Punk versus Cody should be the main event because
Yeah.
being a CM Punk fan and knowing his perangai, his character, right? I don't think he willingly gave up the Royal Rumble spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna come back and win. I'm gonna not get screwed out of the main event. And then suddenly Triple H say, hey bro, actually I don't want you to win. I think give Jey Uso. Like, fuck this lah.
No, bro. He's a new man. He just wants to be there, have fun, make money.
Okay, why I feel like CM Punk versus Cody is super, super attractive, right? For sure, right?
Yes.
But then if you book that match, where does that leave Seth and Roman? Right?
Well, Seth and Roman have their thing, what? That literal blood feud that writes itself.
So, if Seth and Roman has that blood feud, you have Punk and Cody as a match, then where does that leave John Cena?
Oh, John Cena's not going to... He's going to be in WrestleMania as something. Yeah, he'll have a match, but it's not going to be for the world title.
No, but that's the thing, right? There is no clear dance partners for John Cena.
Oh, Logan Paul?
So you're saying Logan Paul and John Cena is going to be the marquee match for Cena?
And isn't that a mouth-watering match as well?
Well, it is, I think, maybe for the mainstream appeal.
Yeah. And not only that, if that were to happen, I would book Logan Paul to win. John Cena can take all the losses right now. And especially to Logan Paul, because Logan Paul is that next big star that you want to build anyway, right? John Cena losing to Logan Paul will not hurt John Cena one bit.
Bro, do you just like book WrestleMania
ahead
of time?
I kind of just did. Shit.
Yeah, holy shit. Wait. Let's just recap.
We're cooking here, man.
So you're saying you do not mind Punk and Seth not having that match together?
Yes.
You're saying that Seth will turn his attention to Roman Reigns instead.
Yes. They already kind of hinted at, because let's not forget, Seth double stomped Roman Reigns. In fact, what if Roman Reigns shows up at the qualifying match just to screw Seth out of it?
Because Roman is not in the match, right?
No, Roman is not in the match. So Finn goes into EC, and we have our swerve there, and then Roman and Seth start their blood feud.
Or I would even say make it more dramatic. Roman only returns at Elimination Chamber just to screw over Seth.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I like that better. I like that.
It's like the whole Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in the Elimination Chamber, where Shawn Michaels came out from underneath screw.
It's happened so many times. Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Okay, so the story that's gonna be told for WrestleMania, it's the story of the Shield, Seth and Roman, right? I mean,
Correct.
it makes sense because but then you know what you know the thing that's stopping me from like going all in this idea,
What?
the bloodline, right? Because if you were to go in that storyline, there is no bloodline so-called overarching arc towards WrestleMania.
But as we talked about earlier just now, the bloodline seems to be an afterthought right now. There's no like, proper bloodline. Like, and they don't need a blow off because they've done all that they can do. And you can rest the bloodline story for a year, and then finally when The Rock frees up his schedule, then he can come back and we can rehash this thing.
Okay, so you're saying The Rock's appearance is what will reignite the bloodline storyline, lah.
Well, I mean, if he decides, like, with him, you don't know what.
Okay,
One time he
fine.
come back only drunk and then ramble on the mic.
No, I just find it interesting, like, curious even if you have a WWE 2K game to promote where it's freaking Roman Reigns on the cover and the Bloodline edition is on the whole, posters and all that, but there is no Bloodline mentioned in the main show.
It's fine because I think we all accept the fact that the roster and the the storyline stuff is usually about a year old by the time the game releases, right? And the Bloodline saga was such a multi-year spanning great saga anyway. The game is more like a tribute to that. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I mean, if you say that the Bloodline as a saga has kind of ended, then it will make sense for the whole story to be told in the game itself.
Yeah, exactly, right? It can't be like, the saga is still going on, but we're going to talk about the first half. No. I think, to be fair, I think that the Bloodline saga is pretty much done and dusted until they decide to rehash it down the road with Raw.
Okay, so let's recap, right? Jey, Gunther, World Heavyweight title, CM Punk and Cody, the WWE Championship,
Yes,
with potentially a Homelander winning,
planting the seeds for Cody. Actually, you know what? If CM Punk wins, this is when Cody can start his descent into Homelanderness proper. We've already seen glimpses of it, right? But post WrestleMania, that's where he starts becoming even more brutal and more evil, whatever.
Okay, so CM Punk versus Cody, with CM Punk winning, getting that main event spot that he wanted so badly, but Jey Uso also having the other night's main event spot.
Yes.
Seth and Roman can be like the blood feud of all ages, basically the HBK Undertaker of this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
John Cena and Logan Paul will be the customary celebrity match.
And in a lot of ways, passing of the torch match.
Okay, is that 4 headlining matches good enough for you for WrestleMania 41?
Yeah.
Right?
All of them are massive names already. And we haven't even talked about the women. Let's very quickly jump into the women's EC match, right? We have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss already qualified. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. You know, I have a soft spot in my heart and a hard spot somewhere else for Lyra Valkyria.
Clip this, guys. Clip this. Send it to Young's wife. Okay, carry on.
Hey, what? No, I'm talking about my kneecap. My kneecap very hard.
Okay.
Calcification of the bones. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. As much as I want Lyra to win, it's gonna be Bayley, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bayley needs it for the experience.
Yeah. She's been in EC matches though, so maybe Lyra needs it for to get a fresh face in there.
Maybe.
Chelsea Green versus Naomi.
You know what? I think Naomi is gonna win.
You think so?
I think Chelsea has a good thing going in the mid-card division. And I don't want her to kind of
Okay, but does it feel very predictable then? Like with Bayley, you got the established one. With Naomi, another established one. Like there's no... Okay, the wild card could be the last one. The last qualifier, Roxanne Perez versus Raquel Rodriguez.
And Liv Morgan is already inside, right?
Yes. I mean, you would automatically assume, then they can play the whole Liv and Raquel team up in the EC.
Yeah.
But Roxanne, though, the wild card,
she's still in NXT, right? Technically.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. Like this could be her big coming out party. No, you don't think so? Maybe she gets close to winning, but she doesn't win.
Would be interesting. I think would be a very un-WWE thing to do, which is like a proper spanner in the works, I mean, they've done it with Jey Uso, I guess, but I can see it. But the thing is, like, if all of them are in the match, right, who would realistically win?
Which is, the question we have to ask. So, Liv,
Liv, okay, who are the contenders now? We got Liv,
Liv,
confirm,
Bianca, Alexa,
Alexa,
Bailey.
Bailey,
We're gonna assume Bailey lah. We're gonna assume Naomi as well.
Naomi,
So
and then the last
basically,
person is
the two mid card champs we don't count lah.
mm, mm.
And Roxanne or Raquel.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Raquel. She's not gonna win EC. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
We don't
It's
want
not gonna
Liv.
be- Yeah.
We don't want Liv and Rhea again.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Roxanne. Okay, so interesting thing, right? I feel like maybe they're trying to tell this story of and expose Roxanne because Roxanne like had a very good Royal Rumble. She was the
Second.
Yeah. She was the longest lasting one as well. So it feels like they're trying to like basically immediately legitimize her by having her be a part of these very big matches, but almost being there. So I almost feel like Roxanne could be in EC, but she'll be eliminated like one of the last few to give her that vibe of like, yeah, she's up there hanging with the top tier wrestlers.
And this time last year, if you recall, we had Tiffany Stratton, who I think was just fresh off NXT in the EC itself. And
Well,
did a
not
great
that
job.
fresh lah. Like literally, Roxanne is quite fresh off NXT. She's
Yeah,
still on
she's
NXT.
She's still in NXT you're talking about.
Yeah, technically. But yeah. So from this list, who could possibly go to WrestleMania and face Rhea?
Do you know who I want?
Bianca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Bianca. Even though it doesn't make sense storyline wise now because of all the Jade Cargill, Naomi, whatever nonsense. I kind of want Bianca because you know what? We should pull that trigger on that dream match. Bianca and Rhea.
We've talked about this before. Like Bianca is a natural heel. I think that, she literally, her gimmick is being the best. That I am best. Like, that means I'm better than you. Which is a very heel thing to say, right? The EST. So, I don't know, man. Like, Bianca winning, and then somehow along the way, the Jade Cargill story can be a side story. Like, I'm sorry, but that story is kind of... I think we need to abandon hope of that being the main event story. A main event story,
It doesn't have to be, but it can potentially be if they find out that actually Bianca and Naomi was in cahoots all along, taking out Jade.
Turn both together.
Yeah, so because if Bianca beats Rhea and turns heel, then suddenly she goes on a long heel run, dominant heel run, and then Jade comes back. Then Jade can be like, oh, you know what? It's the Triple H Shawn Michaels thing again lah. Like, you're the one that attacked me at the parking lot, bro. I got CCTV footage. Let's go.
Yeah. But that would be post WrestleMania. So we're saying that Jade doesn't return before WrestleMania. Bianca goes on her, glory hound, I don't know.
Yeah. I think Bianca becomes heelish towards WrestleMania, maybe.
And then challenges Rhea. I like it. Like, we've talked about them headlining WrestleMania for a long time already, and I think that could absolutely work. Naomi as a heel, has she ever been a heel?
I don't know whether in TNA she did. I can't remember, but
because there's somebody there that she can work with, right?
Yes.
Jordan Grace coming in as a face versus a heel Naomi. Did we just book that too for WrestleMania?
Bro, can we clip this episode? And then we compare our predictions, in the next couple of months. I have a feeling it might turn out like 90%.
Okay, now let's turn our attention to the local wrestling scene. Of course, SPW and Grapplemax, they've already had events in the first month of the brand new year. And you were there for both of them, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I was kind of like jokingly telling the wrestlers, like, hey guys, can you don't get ahead of us? We need time to get the podcast set up for the new season. But no, every single promotion put on a show. So like kudos to them. I think they want to get ahead of the CNY crowd, So like I was there for both SPW Champions Never Yield 3, CNY 3, and Grapplemax Amplify. And you know what? I have a lot of things to say, which I had to kind of save it until the podcast restarted again. So yeah.
Right. So let's break it down. The state of local wrestling right now. Let's go.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? I know I'm very proud of what we did last year, in terms of like coming out with the Singapore Wrestler Top 20. I have no idea whether how it resonated generally with all the wrestlers, but I
Right.
think from the conversations that we had with the wrestlers, they did, they were motivated by the list. They did appreciate the recognition that was being given. I have no idea whether it lit a fire in some of them, because that was the impression I got when I was attending SPW CNY
Yep.
and as well as Amplify as well. So yeah, I think the year started off hot with a couple of notable incidents that happened on those shows lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For CNY, I think I wouldn't go through every single match.
Sure.
But I will probably talk about like, the biggest takeaways from the show, right? I'll start right at the top, bro. Right
Okay.
at the top.
Trend 7 versus a statement.
Correct. So as you guys know, we had a big international star that came to Singapore, Trent Seven, formerly of Moustache Mountain, most well known in NXT UK, the British scene, NXT, and of course, recently TNA.
Yep.
He's great, right? Like Trent Seven, like we know he can work, and I didn't realize that he actually used what was his name? The Seven Nation Army.
Seven Nation, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
As
the
his
White
theme
Stripes
song.
was his theme song. Yeah. So
Ah.
bro, the moment that came in, I was like, holy shit. Okay. Okay. So bro got the crowd, right? Bro
Right.
was ready. And then of course, Statement came in, set up champion. He recently won the title, I think, over the holiday. Remember, we were part of that pull apart.
I remember that interview we were doing.
Very clearly. So yeah, he came in, he was a champion, and he, very, very menacing. But again, the thing about that match was something really, really bad happened on I can't recall off the top of my head, but there was a very bad injury that happened.
Oh.
And
To
the bad
who?
to Statement.
Okay.
I think he either clash heads. I will quickly go through my notes. What happened? I think there was a situation where I think they clash heads. Whether I can't remember from a brain buster or destroyer or something like that. But he ended up bleeding, and he's like really like legit like bleeding,
Hard way,
trickling.
yeah.
Hard way. And I think that might have affected the finish of the match, but he really powered through the match, right? Yeah, but it was an incredible match because halfway through the match, the Midnight Bastards came out.
Of course.
And this time, together with Yuki.
Wait, what? So Yuki has joined them?
Correct. So our faction has had a new member, and I will quickly go through what happened during her match.
With
Yuki's
Alexis.
match with Alexis.
Alexis Lee, yeah.
Yeah, but they are now basically all in cahoots, right? So the Midnight Bastards entered, and then they gang up on Trent with the chairs. But then referee Ryan enters, and Alexis Lee came back, to exact revenge. So they came to even the odds, right? And then there was a swan dive from Alexis. Then Trent delivers his patented burning hammer for the win. So from what I gathered from watching the match, and I think speaking very briefly to Statement after the fact, he actually broke his nose.
Oh shit.
He broke his nose. He had like a broken nose because of whatever that went down. But I hope it's alright. But he did really match Trent. And like Statement Trent towers over Statement, but like I just felt like it was like a pit bull match, if you know what I mean. Like it was just so intense, and like it never let up, and it was really, really a great main event. One of the better main events to start off a year. Yeah, so it was a great exclamation mark for the show.
Talking about the Midnight Bastards, they fought Destroyer and Mighty. How was that? So obviously in Destroyer and Mighty, you have like a lot of meat. Who won that one? Who won that one?
Okay, actually that match kicked off the show. So so the thing about that match was it very, very much kind of wanted to establish Midnight Bastard as their own entity. Like, okay, they're gonna be like this up and coming rising duo that's gonna take over, the tag team scene. So actually, they defeated Destroyer and Mighty. And to be really honest, I didn't think Mighty and Destroyer really showed out in this match. I think it was really more about highlighting the kids. And again, the Midnight Bastards distracted referee Ryan. And RJ attacked with a steel trash can cover to deliver a zigzag for the win. So it was really an impressive outing for the kids, but they had to resort to cheating lah.
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of go like jump around, but since we're talking about the intro match, I'll cycle through the other matches. Then the next match was actually the Singapore Championship Contender Gauntlet match. In order of appearance, we had Ricky Malik, the Hustler Ray Lim is a returning wrestler with Celine. Bryson Blade, your favorite guy. We has Reese we have Iman, and we actually have the winner, which is Dr. Gore.
Right.
Yeah. I think one thing I really like about this match was it showed out a couple of the wrestlers that usually never got a chance to show out, right? Like Ray Lim, for example. I have never really followed his career. Don't know anything about this
Yeah.
guy.
Nope,
Yeah, but
me neither.
he actually shocked the crowd because he actually had a surprise rollout to beat Ricky Malik. So he was like, straight away Ricky Malik kami promo dia kena roll in, lost.
Okay.
So he survived. And then he almost repeated the feat on Bryson Blade. But of course,
Right.
Bryson Blade kicked out. The 24/7 champion soon dominated. And of course,
Didn't he
RKO
rename
for
it the
the win.
Hardcore Championship or something?
Yeah, he completely
Or was it
removed
27?
the title, the what do you call it, the sponsor, I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So now it's just 24/7 championship. Yeah.
Right.
He broke it up like hardcore championship style lah. Like he
Right.
broke up the blades. Michael Jackson chance was going out because Reese was there. Bryson Blade still capitalizes on an RKO. So at this point in time, Blade's cardio, like you gotta give him a shout out. He was doing really, really well.
So, but talk to us about Gore. So, obviously, an established, guy, right?
Yeah.
He's
Because
been there for the longest time. Now he's the SPW Singapore champion, and we had an SPW Singapore championship match on the card as well, right? CK Vin versus Black Arrow.
Correct. So basically, Gore winning this match made him the number one contender.
Correct.
Right. So when he won, right, the thing that came out was like he actually was the final two was him and Iman. So Iman actually put up a good fight, but eventually I think the experience of Gore came out. So as he was leaving the ring, right transition to the next match, which was a Singapore Championship match. So CK Vin entered, at the entranceway right as Gore was leaving. So they had a very, very intense like stare down. That was really a cool tease. The match between CKV and Black Arrow, I thought this was personally for me the best wrestled match
Oh,
on that night.
wow.
When
Okay.
I say wrestled match, okay, maybe the trend and a statement, while it was great, right? I just felt like it was more of like an international dream, it's like a showcase match. But in terms of like a pure wrestling match with a story, blah blah blah, I think it was CKV and Black Arrow because of the history that they had within each other. And also the fact that Black Arrow brings so much intensity to his matches. We all know how great he is, but of course CK Vin as an excellent heel managed to neutralize him. Angle slam. I remember he did an angle slam, and he actually brought out a chair. His patented chair, right?
His thing.
Signature chair. But of course, as he was down, and he wrestled the referee. Referee took out the chair, and then next thing he actually used the title belt to headshot Arrow.
Okay, so
And
he didn't win honorably lah.
as usual.
As a heel should. So that sets up CK Vin versus Dr. Gore for the next one. Which makes
Correct.
sense, right? Yeah.
I believe that should be the match at Unchained. Don't quote me on it because I haven't seen the full lineup. But yeah, that's gonna be a great match. And then, and as I was saying, then we transition to the Alexis Lee, SPW Queen of Asia Championship match. Again, so she was fighting Yuki, right?
Yep.
Yuki interestingly played the heel in the
Okay,
match.
right.
So it was almost like a foreshadowing, right?
Right.
Crowd was more behind Alexis, which is more than often than she was in recent times, right? But the casual beauty, I think one thing about her, I realized is that she has a lot of intensity to her moveset
Yeah.
that wasn't really obvious previously. I think for some reason there was a fire lit under her in this match because she and Alexis Lee brought out a very hard hitting women's match.
Okay.
So Statement came out towards the end of the match. Of course, we all thought that Statement was coming out to support Alexis Lee, right? They are known friends. But then she ended up punching Alexis in the face,
Who, Yuki?
And no, Statement.
What?
Yeah, I think there was a distraction of the crowd, or the ref was away or down. I can't remember.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he actually came in, and we thought like, okay, what's going to happen? But he actually came and punched, the Alexis.
Yeah.
So seemingly aligning with Yuki. So
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means. So does that mean like?
Well, I mean,
because,
as you mentioned in the main event, right? Obviously, there are now factions being formed.
yeah. So Yuki, of course, retained the title. Alexis Lee, essentially lost the match because of Statement.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering whether there's going to be an intergender feud. That's the thing.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on. The next match. Where did the tag team championship match come into play?
Okay. So right after the intermission, in fact, so Jack and Cheese defeated the Juicy Boys, and
Woo!
we know the Juicy Boys, from my PW. We
Yep.
love them. They did a very terrible, like Joe Hendry style diss track. They had a music
Oh
video and everything
no.
that played.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad, but it was funny, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, of course, CBK, we know crowd favorite, delivered
Yep.
awesome, hurricane around the start of the match. Juicy Boys were actually working in tandem better in this
Okay.
match because as great as BGJ and GCBK is, right, I like their tag team is like kind of like oil and water, very two different styles and physiques coming together. But Juicy Boys, they really played a great part in kind of like working a tag style match, right? Isolating one person, taking over, and making sure that, of course, BGJ is far away in the corner, not being
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
enter the match, right? But then, Gojek chants started happening. Gojek,
Go
Gojek.
Jack. Go Jack.
Yeah, and
I
then
get it.
and then like all the Malaysian taunts, three is one, 3, 2, 1, all the
Yeah.
nonsense. But then of course, big splash from the shoulder from Jack and BGJ, Miles Karu chair shot to get the disqualification. So they also interestingly had a disqualification ending or like a schmoz
Right.
sort of ending.
So wait, the champs are still Juicy Boys then?
No, the not Juicy. Yes, Juicy Boy is
Huh?
still the champs. Correct. So you're right.
Ah.
So the Juicy Boys retained the title, but they got disqualified lah because of the match. Yeah. So
So Jack and Cheese won, but they won by DQ.
correct.
There
So
you go. Okay.
clearly it shows that this is not over. Like, there's definitely gonna be some sort of
Yeah.
ramifications,
Yeah.
a future match for both of them.
Talk
Yeah.
about title matches. Let's talk about the SPW Southeast Asia Championship. It's a four-way.
Yeah.
Obviously, our much beloved wrestler of last year, Singapore wrestler of last year, the Butcher Man,
Yes.
versus Shivam versus Jake DeLeon versus Aiden Rex, a newly healed Aiden Rex.
So this is the one that I wanted to talk about. Actually, that was a thing I wish we had a show on because like holy shit. Okay, SPW is gonna pull the trigger on Aiden Rex Hilton. Very interesting. Very interesting. It was this was like in terms of like the most entertaining match of the night. This was it, right? Because everyone had like their favorite. We had Aiden Rex, well respected. We had Jake DeLeon.
How did the crowd take to him being a heel now?
Oh, they immediately turned. They immediately booed him.
Okay.
They immediately booed him, right? But I mean, we are getting ahead of ourselves because, like, of course, he came to the match as a babyface, right? Well respected.
Wait,
Jake
didn't he turn heel at the end of last year?
No, he only turned heel at the end of this event, bro.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Jake DeLeon and Shivam, I think they were international stars, right? From Philippines and the Thai setup. The Butcherman, this is his first official, main show title defense.
Right.
As the champion. So clearly the most over guy of the day. And still, he is technically Singapore's top wrestler. So technically his momentum is still there for everyone to see. But anyway, he did get the win. But the thing is, Aiden Rex, came out, wanted to shake his hand, and then it turned on him. And Sling Blade, bro, to emphasize the defeat.
Right.
And you know what? Aiden Rex versus Butcherman for a proper title feud, actually is a good way to go.
I think so. But here's the thing. I'm taking a quick look at the Unchained, which is their next event, right?
Yeah.
Aiden Rex is not fighting the Butcherman. He's facing off against Dragon Deer.
Yeah. I'm curious as well. Like, what's the direction for that?
Yeah.
Does Butcherman have a title match?
Or
is it like a tag team?
Not that I know of yet.
Ooh, he could be in a
Oh wait,
tag
no.
team.
Yes, he is in a tag team match. It's a mixed tag match.
Yeah. So
Yuki and Statement versus Alexis and Butcherman.
Okay, that's where they're going with the story. Yeah, so maybe they are gonna keep them apart for a bit. I'm not sure. I hope they do explain it. But I actually voted Aiden Rex pretty highly on the night because of the Hilton. The Hilton really like, everyone kind of gasped and got excited. Because we know where this could go, right?
Right.
Yeah, but of course, for my full star ratings and the full, article review, go check us out on our Patreon, yeah?
Absolutely. Of course, we are talking about the Kick to the Gut Singapore Wrestler of the Year. Yes, 2025 it is a brand new year, the evaluation period, as we talked about, and everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. Last year we did it, and I know you had a lot of fun, a lot of sleepless nights, but a lot of fun with this as well.
Yeah, man. But you know what? Now the wrestlers and the promotions are going to give us more sleepless nights because they're going to put on more shows.
Yes, more bangers.
To clarify, all the shows that happen in January we will still include. It's just that the evaluation period, that means us starting to grade it and put it out on our Patreon page, only starts this month. So
Correct.
as long as you guys do minimum 3 matches throughout the year, we will put you in consideration for the top 20 list.
Interestingly, it seems like some former female wrestlers from SPW, they have returned. I like Selena, you mentioned. Right? She has a match at Unchained, actually. She's fighting a vampire.
Oh, wow.
Thailand's resident vampire wrestler, Jenny.
Okay, I think we will probably have to have one of them on our show leading up to the event. So
the vampire, or
I don't know whether the vampire you can come all the way from Thailand to do that, but maybe we shall see.
Yeah, and then we would have to record it at night, because vampire in the day. Anyway, I don't know if Thai vampires work like that though. So that's the SPW event. Of course, their next one, like we mentioned, is Unchained, which is happening on the 7th of March. So something to look forward to in about less than a month's time.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
So let's talk about, Pivot as well, because the other Singapore wrestling company, Grapplemax, they also had an event recently, Amplify 6.
Yeah, again, Grapplemax starting off their year early as well. This felt like more of like a road to Causeway Jam kind of style,
Right.
Like I think they started the year to kind of establish more storylines, set up a couple of matches. I didn't manage to catch the first match. It was apparently like a graduation match. I think between Justin and Melvin.
Correct.
I heard
it was a time limit draw.
Yes, I heard it was a time limit draw. So the cool thing about this was actually it was a perfect setup segue to the NWE's first event. They actually had just this past week, right?
Right.
On Friday. Was it open house or was it they called it something else? Can't remember.
Showcase.
Yes,
it's just called NWE Showcase.
Yeah, that's an NWE Showcase. So, much kudos and respect to all these kids. They're gonna be on the show. It's almost like NXT for Grapplemax, right? But I kind of like made a decision not to include those matches or try to grade those matches because, of course, we are dealing with newbies. I think it's a bit unfair to kind of critique them.
Sure.
So they won't be counted in the SW20. We will still count the main storylines or the main card shows. But I came in a bit late, so I missed most of this match. But I was there for Sarah Coldheart versus Sean Pang.
Oh, wow. Okay, so have they fully embraced the dark side is my question.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Sarah is like full-on heel, came in, cut promos. It was hilarious. And the funny thing is, right, like Sean, I think, has to go at it as a singles for a while. Like, even though he is the champion, he's carrying the tag team championship.
With YC. Of course, what happened?
Because YC, recently become baby daddy, so baby daddy on paternity. But I did manage to meet the baby. Very cute baby. Toddler straight away in the ring already. So good for no lah. But so this was a match where I felt very interesting that I felt that Sean's weakness got exposed.
Oh, which is?
Okay, you know how Sarah and Kristen are like super great as in terms of like having personality and being heels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they cut a great promo, right? And got the crowd against it. But Sean started off the show and was supposed to cut like a babyface promo. And it was very, the content of it was good, right? He was talking about how he's being a solo, having to wrestle solo now. His tag team partner might not be around, but he still will always be there for him, supports him. But of course, he has to focus on something greater than the tag team championship, which is becoming a father. Like those are great material. It's just that I don't think he can connect with his style of delivery, like his style of promoting, like his promo style. He has this very Queen's English, and he has this very like.
Does he though?
No, very halting, like very formal the way he talks.
Right.
We've talked to him. You kind of know what we're talking about. It's almost very performative.
Yeah, like it's better as a goofy heel. Like when he was doing that whole cocky, like trying to steal the limelight, it worked because that style of promo worked for that character. So what you're saying is, as a more like a heartfelt promo, it wasn't quite there because of maybe his just presentation style.
Correct. So I just felt that actually kind of minus points a bit in
Okay,
terms of,
okay,
so
fair.
I didn't really grade him that high, it's kind of weird because like we actually put him up very very high last year
Yes.
in the
Well,
in the list, but I just felt like maybe it's a Jimmy Uso problem, right? When the story is good, okay, they can focus at their promos, but this felt a bit meandering lah to me.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so Sarah picks up the win, which is an interesting choice, right? Like, were there shenanigans? Did Christian get involved? I would
Of
assume he
course,
did.
of course,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, of course. So I was saying like minus points for Sean's cringy promo, but post match there was an attack from Ships Ahoy,
Uh-huh.
and I really love their combo move. It's like a flapjack into like a face buster kind of thing, and
So
they
this
are
sets up, yeah, this obviously sets up Aussie versus Ships Ahoy, and
correct.
you get the different permutations as well. So like, we could see Sean versus Christian Nick, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, clearly they are establishing themselves as their future number one contenders for the tag
Yeah.
title.
Okay, so I feel like we haven't seen this guy in the ring for a while. So when I saw this match, I was like, okay, Crypto Bro is back.
Yeah, it not only that, Crypto Bro tagging in with a heel Carl.
Yes.
Recently established as the top heel when the previous anniversary show. So they were teaming up together against SPD and of course the Grapplemax Openweight champion Hotshot.
Okay, was this the second match of the night? Because that's what is listed on their Instagram
Yes,
page.
it
So, which is
was.
surprising, right? Because you're talking about the main champion. Like, at least put him in the starting or the second, like the match before the main event, but not like just the second match random
Yeah. I was very curious about the match placement, and
placement. Yeah,
actually when I found out who was in this match, because I actually walked into the show without any idea of the card, right? I didn't really
yeah,
pay attention to it, but like, hey, you guys got technically the top babyface team purely based on popularity, right? You got
yeah,
SPD and Hotshot,
yeah,
and then you got like technically top heel just by name value alone, Crypto
yeah,
Bro and Kel. So I was like, why you have it as a second match? Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was curious about it. So it was a blockbuster tag team match goes without saying, right?
Right.
Um, one takeaway I had from this match, right? There was a lot of Attitude Era moveset callbacks.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna list it down, bro. There was a worm from LK on SPD. There was scissors kicks. There was Hogan leg drops. There
Oh
was
my
a
god.
Hogan comeback.
Yeah.
There was stereo RKOs from the baby faces. There was a spear from LK.
Oh,
You
of
know what I mean?
course.
There was like, I tell you this, if you were an Attitude Era kid, right, this is like a wet dream. Like all of them were
Right.
just spamming Attitude Era finishes, which was
Right.
hilarious.
So okay, so is the point of this match to get Cal over more than LK? Because I feel like Crypto, right? Like obviously we love him, but he isn't as involved as, or he hasn't been lah. Like
Yep.
2024, we didn't see LK that much. So
Yep.
is this more a thing of let's get Cal over and he needed a dance partner?
Yeah, I felt like this match was to actually kind of get the rustiness out of Kelsey, because let's be clear, he did look very rusty in this match.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I didn't feel like that. Holy shit, this is the ace wrestling. It was like, oh, okay, or maybe he after the 7th anniversary he just took a very long break
Yeah.
and then try to get back into it.
And maybe they know, and maybe that's why he's A in a tag match, B in the second match of the night, as opposed to being the main event or
Yeah.
something like that.
But some things are undeniable. SPD was the most popular wrestler in the match, even outshining Hotshot.
Hot shot, yep.
And
But we've
then
said this before, what? Like in terms of connection with the crowd, like Hotshot has the technical ability, but SPD is more of that, so like that character we want to root for.
Agreed. And LK was of course hilarious, had the scammer chance. But then the shenanigans from LK actually allowed Cal to pick up the victory for running knee on SPD. So despite having a very popular tag team, babyface, even having the world champion there, they both lost.
Very interesting placement, I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, then we had Ming Ray versus Julian, another sort of intergender match. It's a singles match.
Correct. I think they wanted to kind of tell the story that the women can, easily challenge for the titles as well, right? Again, we've kind of like sung the praises of Julian, right? You can hate me now, shit talker. One thing I actually wanted to compliment Ming Ray was this match. Her outfit game was like on point. Like she really leveled up her outfit.
Okay.
She really she can be a stardom wrestler. Really. So very well done there. And it was I think the one thing great about this match was like Julian bumped like mad for Ming Ray. Like just freaking took everything, man. But while he did that, he kind of saw Ming Ray as really like this like a bigger size wrestler. I'm gonna target the knees, chop
Okay,
her
all
down.
right.
So very
Psychology.
cerebral, right? Yeah. So this match was all about Julian trying to kind of like chop her down to size, and Ming Ray had to overcome that, and actually she countered Julian for a surprise roll up and win.
Poor Julian can't catch a break. Like we keep praising him for his heel work, but then that's the typical like, all right, good worker, very likable as a bad guy, very easy to boo. So we just let them lose every damn match
Yeah,
to get the babyface over.
it was weird, but I would say that what was more interesting about this was the post-match shenanigans that happened. So of course, Julian being Julian, not happy, right? So he had to beat up, Ming Ray, like, get some measure of revenge. But guess who came out to save the day?
Who?
I was Scotland. I was
Oh.
Scotland boy.
Wait, what?
Yes.
He's back, but wait, he's a face now?
So Calvin
Ah.
slid into the ring, told his Showtime guy to like, hey bro, stop it, man. This is too
Right.
much,
Yeah.
And then he was like, why? Why should I stop it? And then a shoving match started happening.
Oh.
So now they have seemed to position Calvin as this like all-conquering returning hero, who, even though he is like, Will Ospreay, part of Don Kelly's family, but actually he's a babyface now, So what's going to be very interesting to watch out for is like, what is this story that Calvin and Showtime and
So-
Julian's going to tell?
The implosion of Showtime lah. But is it going to be a case of like, okay, it's kind of like, the Judgment Day, right? Where like people come and go. It's always going to be the Judgment Day, but people, the members just keep switching in and out.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But Calvin is back permanently. So if Calvin is back permanently, this is the right time to push him as a star, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he has everything, bro. He can
Agree.
do it.
Big
so
Kelvin face run for 2025. Let's go. Okay, so the main event then. Grapplemax Openweight Championship #1 contenders match.
yes, so triple threat match. Again, I was very curious, right? Like, if all the big stars are in the second match, who's gonna be in the main event? And like, there is a triple threat. And not just that, bro.
Yeah.
Christian, Ban, and Divya.
I saw. So to your point
Divya.
earlier, they really are seemingly trying to push home the point. Yes, the ladies are in there with the men in terms of championship contenders. Can I very quickly mention this because this is kind of bugging me? My OCD is kicking in. Grapplemax, you guys watching this right now, there is a typo. You spelled contenders wrong in your
Hey.
Instagram post.
Ayo. No, Najwa will be very unhappy you say that. He said, oh
No. It's not on the graphic. It's on the Instagram text.
Okay, then can still change caption. That's right.
That one is it's the post where you post all the winners. #1 contendor, DOR match.
Ayo.
Unless it's done purposely. Contendor.
That's good. Okay, so Divya again, she's the babyface in this match.
Yeah.
And the prospect of her battling the males, like actually I got really excited by it. She's like giving Tessa Blanchard vibes when Tessa Blanchard was still good lah.
Right.
So she actually had a
Before
great,
people found out she was racist.
she had a great Hurricanrana to start off the match against Christian. There was a Sarah and Div stare off because Sarah was at ringside.
Ringside,
That was really
yes.
interesting. And then both men, of course, being the misogynists that they are, they gang up on Divya, right? 2-on-1. But then there was, I think the turning point of the match was when Div did this amazing suicide dive, and I caught it all on camera. So shout out to her for that awesome dive that kind of cleared the ring side of all the people that was disturbing them, right? And then this distraction from Sarah, of course, Sarah had to get involved, led to Christian like attacking her in the corner, and there was this superplex and power bomb triple move that's kickstarted holy shit chance. And of course Trish Bulldog from Christian, a spear from Div catching a roll in from Christian for a close to count. So Div was basically rocking. She was like, everyone was like gunning for her to win, wanting her to win, right?
Yeah.
But then as she came out for another spear, which everyone thought was gonna finish the match, kena thrown out of the ring from Ban. And who capitalized? This
Ban. Of
Yes.
course. Hey, was Dave there? Or did he take a break?
No, Dave didn't wrestle on this night.
So he's
so
that chair shot is still affecting him from last year.
yes, I'm pretty sure.
The one that I asked him about. That he scolded me for.
he's clearly, like letting Ban be the main guy this year, I think. Yeah. So Ban takes advantage, throws Divya out of the ring, and takes the opportunistic win from Christian. So Ban is officially the new number one contender for the Grapplemax Openweight Championship. But I really, really wanted Div to win. So yeah, that's interesting. So now we're gonna have Hot
Div-
Shot and Ban.
Yeah. Div versus Sarah lah. That looks like what is being set up, right? Potential.
That or versus Christian. I think they had a really great chemistry as well.
Sean and Divya tag team.
Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah.
No, I really love the thought of Divya like in the main event scene. I think
Okay.
we've established as like she is one of the top 10 wrestlers in Singapore. And man, I want her to challenge for the title one time. I think that would be damn cool.
Right.
Damn cool. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the recap for both Grapplemax and SPW. There's more to come, obviously. We will get one of the Grapplemax folks in the studio for their next big event, Causeway Jam, which is happening very soon.
Yeah. It's actually happening 2 weeks from now. So we do look forward to our next episode. We'll probably have an interview from one of the Grapplemax wrestlers. Ring of Rebirth had a show as well, but we didn't attend it, but we had our very objective Silverback Prabhu attending the show. So you want to catch the full review of Ring of Rebirth's first show as well, it's on our Patreon. So guys, don't forget to subscribe.
Absolutely. In the meantime, there's one more thing we need to talk about, and we referenced this right at the start of the podcast, a collaboration of former WWE superstars, okay? The collaboration that, I guess on paper, some people might be into this kind of stuff, but quite honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw the photo was, who asked for this? And then when I told you about it, you were like, it's not really my thing. But I mean, go ahead.
Bro, we've been spoiled, bro. Like, we grew up in an era where we had Tori Wilson, Sable doing
Stacey
Playboy,
Keibler,
Candice Michelle.
Yeah.
Like,
Lita,
Trish Stratus, like the prospect of any one of those people doing OnlyFans in their prime, like I would have signed up. I mean,
okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what? No, you wouldn't.
Well, depends. If I would have had money at that point in time, but
Right.
If you told me Tori Wilson and Sable gonna do an OF,
game over. Bro, breaking records, huh? But okay, so here's the thing, and we referenced it already. Foreign referenced it already. Two former WWE superstars have apparently collabed for OnlyFans. I'm sure it's photo shoots. I'm not sure if there's any nudity involved. I don't think, but it's all really quite sexy. I mean, it's OnlyFans. What do you expect, right? And the two people we are talking about, Mandy.
Okay.
In 2025, we're actually talking about Mandy Sachs, aka Mandy Rose. Okay, Mandy and Lacey Evans.
Okay.
Okay, wait. First of all, look, they're both very attractive ladies, right? There's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. But I always assume for some reason, and maybe it's because of the gimmick she was playing, I always assume Lacey Evans was a very laced up, conservative type person. But apparently I've been proven wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought she was like a Marine who is like a mom, it's a mother, right?
Yeah, so that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Do with what you have, however you want. But yeah, for whatever reason, I always thought of her as this very proper Marine type person. But apparently, no, she has a wild side. It's a thing. And the picture I first saw was on Botch Club. They always post all these Botch comedy meme things.
Club.
Yeah, right? And so the picture I saw was of Mandy and Lacey in bed in their swimwear. And then the pose is quite suggestive, let's just put it that way, right? It's quite like they're going to make out, but not really. And then at the bottom is Vince McMahon in that interview on Netflix going oh yeah, so that was that was how I found out about it. I was like, woo!
Is it this one?
I can't remember what his quote was, but it was he's talking about oh yeah, and then typical Vince shit lah, right? But
okay. So what do you want me to do? You want me to
what do you want me to do? Bro, I want you to go and sign up. I want you to go and sign up and then do a full review of their content. Okay, chat. If you sponsor Kick to the Gut, we will review. We will do a special Patreon episode if you sponsor us a subscription to the. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Absolutely kidding.
We do one Patreon episode. Both of us do a watch along.
of their content. We go through their OF. Bro.
We review it like sneaky sushi style.
Oh.
With the money that you guys donate, whichever tier that can cover the cost of the OnlyFans.
I honestly don't know how much it costs because I'm not going to go and log on and then have OF on my login history, okay?
Hey, you know what's the worst part? If you go OF means you have to sign up with a credit card bill, right?
Yeah.
You tell your wife like, hey, what's this line item? Huh? OF.
Yeah. Why this credit card suddenly got one thing? So anyway, that is the collab we never knew we needed. Actually, we don't need it.
Yeah, we don't
That's
need
the collab we never knew we never needed.
That's the thing, right? Like, you ask me what's my thoughts on it. Like, if you tell me, okay, name 2 women in all of wrestling that you want to see in OF.
Oh my god!
Like,
I just saw one.
How do you see one online?
I'm okay. So I googled it, and some people have posted some like shots, like promo shots on Instagram. Can I even show this?
Why?
I mean,
they're covered, right?
Yeah. They're covered. There's no nudity, lah. You know.
Okay.
But okay, very quickly, it's just like
I can't believe you're doing it.
What
the fuck? Holy shit! Okay,
like I said, suggestive, but it's no nudity, but it's suggestive, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that is apparently what. Bro, did we just like send them a couple of customers essentially?
that's the thing, right? You can, if you tell me to come out with 2 people that I want to do OF with, they are not.
You want to do OF with? What?
No, that you want to
see do OF.
That you want to, yeah.
Okay. Bro, you got me worried for a second there, bro.
Yeah, like no, nothing against them. Like, okay, Mandy is fine.
They're attractive women.
Lacey is fine. Like, just that's not my cup of coffee lah. Like, that's not like when I wake up, I don't think like, oh man.
Lacey Evans and Mandy Rose, huh?
Yeah, just like nah. But who I would want to see as OF, I shall not say lah. Yeah.
I just found a shot that. Oh, this one cannot show. Oh.
Okay.
On X. X is lawless lah.
XY lah. X is what? That one
okay, so essentially they're kissing lah. They're kissing in bed in their lingerie.
That one you just WhatsApp me can already lah. What are we doing, Mr. Yao? Sending each other
this is for research. Oh my god, this is for research. You know, there's a glass plane on my door, right? I'm very afraid. My wife walked by and looked in and see what I'm looking at.
What is Mr. Yang watching?
We're doing this for work, you guys.
If your wife doesn't catch you, your doggos will.
Exactly.
They will report, bro. Don't.
Okay. So there you go.
Okay. I think this is a great time to end the podcast. For our second episode of the new season. I hope you guys are enjoying all the new graphics.
Wow.
The not those graphics that you just sent, but like our general creative graphics for the
but yes, as always, thank you so much for hanging out. Discord is where you can find us when we're not on the podcast, of course. So join us in the Discord. Links are in the description. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok as well. So come and find us there lah.
Yeah, so again, our weekly shows are still going to happen, but we're going to do a majority of them pre-recorded. We will only go do live streams on pay-per-view weekdays or weekends. Yes. If you still want to kind of, please chat with us while the show is premiering. Most likely, it's either me or Yang. We will probably be on the chat. But if you want to really have a proper, full-on tag Mr. Yang Foreign to talk about stuff, please check us out on our Discord channel as well.
There you go. In the meantime, though, hey, as always, it's Mr. Yang.
And it's Foreign in the building. Take care.
Hang on, let me out-tab to the Google's image search. Oh, no.
Okay.
Let's go.